Adis Mama Shaw Brano Adumi no aba pa wonsima nwotwe high power 97.9 we share live on TV XYZ Radio XYZ 93.1 Brason Semwa Yaboabo no e from my to Kwani abom ye de som ne na Kasiebo no fa Kasiebo gina e wo Ghana mrahye bedwe me sanse ye hwe ni mo se yera Kasiela to force doctor obeba mrahye bedwe fie no de akọ musika budget no e ho asem ababetu edwanti free sabre ya kosi bra e je na nkasa be fiti ase ne be ko ne akwa nsem no ye de ababedam affiliate stations ne do so wo nyina ebo abi am Kasiebo ye Adam Volta Power 94.1 ewo Global FM ewo Sharp FM Motakrade Nshurma FM Wonkran Kwantabu FM ewo Jase Kan Otimantam no Emoji Nyame 107.7 ewo Sampa na 92.5 wa Fogoso Western Radio ewo Lembele KFM Okwaza Ngligi FM ewo Bole Rich FM ewo Asimfo Su High Radio wo Bechem Oti Radio wo Dambai Sanso na Wempa Sampa Windy FM Pusiga ene Importa Moburu FM ewo Sunyane Sunset Radio Kasiebo Binyansapo 89.9 and so ewo Shama local Atom local FM wasasetre enzema Elembele VC Radio TV ewo Dunkwa Onofe amanane Apositiate FM Virginia Dice Radio Italy Adam Fopa Radio ewo Pari G Live Radio UK OPD Radio and so ewo UK Loud Silence TV USA ono so bi madishi eti Kasiebo emu ebi online radio smonline.com tune in power 97.9 my xyzonline.com ubenyaye ewo Facebook nenso ye adwuma enti de achi wo power 979 FM ewo TV XYZ and afi radio XYZ 93.1 information centers ne de chapo wo munyina ekra Kasiebo emu bi enawie nsemu a yebobo so de amamo no ebi ne se yebekọ na ne akoso wasumdwe park ne nsentwofo ye wo mabo ne nyina tofa ede aman na bani dia betu dwa ya wo chese amangodo beye 9 tax waivers wodi ama wo mu anase visa waivers ama wo mu eba beboa ma ye ne sa aman yintan die no etimi ejira ne nan so eni da kwanse Ghana photo for Dr. Kasiela to force mrahye bedwe mu obeba no de media budget review abetu dwa ne ebekọ ho ne akwahore se de nsem ne sisie ewo ho na beto dwase Ghana de hye makoma be ye 500 na sa break you net fo bunka mo ma faso a dodo no akopie mu ewo Cote d'Ivoire man no emu adesba mansam ne afoforo bi ka ho na wie ye de somo ye Kasiebo emu nwemeko bi ka ho a wodi achi eme de ensemi edamo gentle step mother care semen control se we yo 40 men kasa abre ya na wabo wura mu ewo mu aka chesan se wo mu oni ma bebrede ma mo fra no kwadanta ade e ma ne mema eno achi kra no baby scott ibi ni nyina bi ewo ho tricycle any bicycle no uboram wa obenya bi high chairs any baby bouncer swings no uboram ewo gentle step mother care ubenya bi ato ane bo no eda form se bokọ wom ewo Spinters Road or bank for gas furniture no woni Absa Bank no enedi enhwani mo ubetimi afre 0244 238477 and afre 0245 681085 ofra gentle step mother care wom ebejo so lift kit capsules no eye drama pa Medimosis Clinic and Herbal Center for edia badwama so eboa emma digestion ye dwuma ye onipadua no emu enu achi kura no eboa ma efini kekawa yaw adokru nipadua no ehuru ni nyina etu ni nyina ase metabolism so no eboa ma epeja emeko nkan pa support liver no emma ejina brane eti manu ya Bora pharmacy shop bia mokwa wo so per lift kit capsules no ubenya biato na emu pendo so po mu na emu nchechemu bia no na wa frem Medimosis impenifo 0244 068447 0244 068447 ofra wamo ebeje so nyuma kwa we afoforo bi ka ho ena hwei wamo achia brei eho eka ye ne age penie esom wo mimidin da chema akosia oforiwa amanfo mene ama poma Checheku ebusia ye kwa Asumdwe Park Maxwell Amankwa eke DJ Papa Max yo ho yemisa de akoso fiti anopa no ndubre mu ade besi sabre omo ne tofa e my Max uti enka Asumdwe Park de na akoso fenche mu mai
Koma yantia eye ebuso ni afeko no be DJ Sabre me no kasa na eye Asumdwe Park eye ewo osi capsule eye emina na ena eye 13 and just ni edema eye former president J.U. ya unya de be before ye na so ewe di ya mayuko eni asopro kudida ena eba ya omo eba be che ewa hano na oba be ɛyɛ part of elders ɛne ministers ɛne ɛyɛ party mpanyinfoɔ ɛne ɛyɛ party ma yɛ a wɔn aba ɛne Professor Mills na busuafoɔ ɛnso ɛbaayɛ na aba no mu baayɛ no ɛyɛ anniversary a yɛde ɛkae yɛ papa Professor Mills yɛ a yɛ anniversary for yɛ 24 July every year a we yɛ anniversary for yɛ na ɛno ɛna ɛyɛ ɔman Ghana ɛne ɛyɛ n'abusua nyinaa ɛbɔ no ɛnasɛ nnɛ no wɔn ɛkyɛ fa no ɛde ama wiase nyinaa wi sɛ ɛgya bi sei ɛna BTA ɛbɔ ɔman Ghana na eduru sɛ wɔn de race winning ɛba no ɛyɛ president ɛbɛgyina mu ɛma wɔn man no ɛna ɛyɛ n'abusua nso Professor Mills n'abusua nso ɛba ɛyɛ ɛde nsire ɛbɛto nda ne so ne mma ne ne nananom ɛne party wɔ ɛne ɛyɛ Mills heritage anaasɛ memorial committee no wɔn nso ɛde wɔn deɛ ɛbaayɛ na wohyɛ ha no ma nipa kɔma ɛbaa ha no no na ɛsɛ yie papaapa na ade a yɛ papa ɛyɛ president John Dramani Mahama ɛyɛ sɛ Professor Mills deɛ wɔno wɔyɛ obi a wɔyɛ ne mentor wɔyɛ wɔyɛ ne bibia kyerɛ a wɔkyerɛ no ahobrɛaseɛ ɛne nea sɛdeɛ ne nipa ɛkasa ne nyinaa mu no ɛno ɛna ama sesei no yɛduru baabi a yɛdu wɔ ɔman Ghana mu Professor Mills abusuafoɔ ɛnso ɛwɔ hanom a ne nua baa ɛkasa no na ɛyɛ nea Professor Mills ɔyɛɛyɛ ɛne nneɛma a ɛkɔ ɛma Professor Mills na wɔbieyɛ no ɛna wɔde to ɛyɛ ɔmanpanyin anim sɛ ɛyɛ Mills library no a yɛsi ɛwɔ Cape Coast ɛwɔ ne kurom na yɛde ɛhyɛ no animonyam no wei deɛ mpanyinfoɔ ɛnsan ɛmmra ho na ɛnum ɛna ɛyɛ ɔmanpanyin nso bɛkasaayɛ no pɔmpɔ sɛ ɛyɛ ɔnabo tukobi paakye mo ɛnso ato kɔmɛti do mɔhyɛ na ɛnhyɛ ɛyɛ la nyinaa ɛbɛka sɛnea ɛsie ama ɔman Ghana mu nipa ɛtumi akɔ hɔ nom na president eba nye ɔno nko a ne baeɛ wɔne ɛyɛ ne vice president chief of staff ɛne ne ministers bebree naa ɛna wɔn baeɛ na wɔn baeɛ no aha ne wɔbɛyɛ sɛ ɛnɛ deɛ no ayɛ soronko koraa sɛ ɛyɛ ntie bi a ɛtwa mu ɛkɔ no na yɛwura John Dramani Mahama ɛkasa anaasɛ yɛmfa ne sɛ chairman general ɛde ma ɛyɛ NDC amanyɔkuo kasa no wɔka asɛm bi ma obiara ɛbɔ gye so ɛma ɛbɛyɛ ɛsɛdeɛ nso ɛwɔ ha no sɛ last year saa bee no ɛyɛ abufuo ɛna na ɛwɔ ne mu ɛsiane sɛ nea ɛkɔɔ so na ɛnhyɛ yie akyi no ɛno ɛna kyerɛ sɛ ɛma ɛbufuiɛ na sɛsi a mene wo kakyɛ yi no ɛyɛ ɔnabo akɔga no wɔ ha wɔde ɛyɛ wɔno deɛ wɔno no n'ani tua deɛ ɛkɔɔ no na ma yɛbisa no sɛnea ɛkɔɔyɛ ne ɛkyɛ ɔde n'ani wuyɛ no ɔno nso ɛmmɔ ne so fama ɔnabo akɔga me kwasa yɛnea ɛnyɛ ɛyɛ sɛ ɛsi no Professor Mills n'ano fɛ wotu w'akyi ase kɔmɛti sɛ wonka hɔ koraa yɛbi deɛ wotu nneɛma no sɛn na ɛnɛ deɛ yi wɔhu no afa ɛyɛ billion deɛ mɛtumi aka sɛ GDA a party no ɛnya wɔ me mu no nsi no from the past years I have been part of the organization of this event. Now, let us say, at your time, now, opposition, now, and you maybe a name will be Incanca any Asia HAB. I drew her now, Ubi, a mountain canopy. Now, you see, and say no movie, Asana, and idea. And that Yaba and at least Yaya Asumbe at the Ayen. Rosamil Sayopia or Ye Asumera. It's a name of Masaibi, FFA, the organization, and Nadia Yana Yamubino, Yaka. However, and then Yana prepare, meaning said the next 8 years, airport, however, party, you believe in the democracy. If you are Singapore, any of them, they are sure that Sanya Wino, as I say, yes, we have to say, not the dignity around the man will be respected and also be protected. I don't know if we are. I'm for my deputy communication officer and Yakin Hanoma maybe no waka hona eyo na go banga boy Milan say banga boy e wa hanomo ya ene ewie the best player connected then honorable Milan say banga boy e wa hanile woni ya tata na asa wa yesu tata e wa hanomo you know man from say you maybe no e no see how the maybe no after the year ya o ma pani ene na kekere ene party pani go ene eje wonder waka e to mo do na be say maybe no omo dira esi after party hanomo akọ be bi awo e ba ye na sa be maybe no ye di aba na wi e wa hano
DJ Papa Max Yeke Maxwell Amankwa ene tie se ode amane boy free asumdwe park ebra yen komrahye bedwafie na de Ghana fo nyina hwe ni mu nei eyese emrahye bedwam penimfo ya wo mo hwe mai sika sabre ne totoye ensem so Dr. Kasiebo Atofosen won na die ni mu beba mrahye bedwafie ho na fe ya kon mesika fimfimfini de no wode ehon nsema ba betu dwa Ghana fo dodo na watwe yem se aban ba me ate asem a ede asem papa bi na yakoma ato yem ne ehunu sampa ense ya yesesa ya ma NDC abane baye no wo mo boase de be ya Ghana ebetumi akoye nipa dodo na acha wo mo expect se enne finance minister ba wo ba no wo be se kane no to bi ani de to niema so na ye twamene no wo fa bi ema na emomode reforms ahodo bi ebeboa na asankan niema mu amoma yesi kasema akoye no ye no ne ye hwe animu wo mu se enne nsakran ahodo no bi e dika abade wo hwe ma Ghana esi de ba bi ase ejina na ekoye wo de toto eye afie twa mu ba bi ananka yesi de ne dana dollar ne gina ne konso a na ahometene nso na aban no tumi ahwe ho no mu a ene yisi de ne gusua nya ahoden a wo hwe dollar no na no ya sempa wo de ne kran so to nchen ya ban sikadie famo no yedim sa asoafo aduosia na ese mampani de wo mo ye adwuma kire se eba government expenditure sika ya de tua asoafo ne ade ka se ye hwan so kakra e wo ho ene wo tietie mu a atrache na ya hodo niema ne bia kane na nko mo ye susu se eye kabo wo my Ghana mu no ene ni nyina wo motumi atwatwa ni nyina so a e kire sampa eniema ekoye nti Ghana for hwe ni mu se yera foto samfa wo be ya sem wo be ka no ebe de ebe to Ghana for nyina akoma so ni yetimo na aboa nso ma ye koye ni mu no e de nsakra ya hodo no a e de abane ye hwese ebe komra hye bedwafie esanse abane bofo enke obrempon ho yemisa ese mprempren ya na de na ekoso esanse nkra bia ye nyinya ye kyesa hwe ya dom kuma no wo mo afadwene eso mbe boycott enne media budget review se wo mo kasa ba ko a wo mo tene mra hye bedwa mu eno no ye ya no wo mo boycott ye be pesi ye be bisa se sansem na yatete no kwasem bi wom anaso so enye sa bepem nsaka yama ne bofo wo mo mrahye bedwafie enke obrempon ena fe tedi mawuli ni wo mo ka ho no a ye ne wo mo bedi nkita ho na fe ni ekoso ankasa ewo mrahye bedwafie mprempren ya hobo aguso se finance minister beba no de yakọ masika afimfimfi dia beto dwa no enhyehyeye no ene se bepem nya wo mo a ye beto aso yanko yanim ewo nsem ahodo emu na aban no dia tudwa ya wo chese no woni ama ahodo eso ntem kitawudie no wo hwese dan diabetes agina abrane ne sa huntie no de efe ne se visa waiver ibi wo de ama ahodo makoba ko be ye nan ya sese ne ye no mo ba bedi kaso bom ye visa free ya ebibiti se adwadie ni mu nsem no ebetimi akoso ye ewo ye ne sa ama ahodo yi entem na we no uborum wo mai mo mrahye bedwafie a dwemtreni edema kwa ya wo show manyi ene amahodo so ntam kitawde onsensem so wodwanyafo Alfredo ko Vanderpoy ena wogina simpie so a wo kyerɛkyerɛ mu sɛ no kre sɛ no ntiase apam ne de yenya de yensa ahyase a aman no eye Mozambique ena afen so Sao Tome ene Principe ena afen so no uboram Colombia so a wɔm so eka ho bi ene Commonwealth of Dominica wɔm so wɔm ka ho a sabre no yene wɔm akontiase apam a de efe ne visa free no eba beboa na ama ye no omontam kitawudie na gyan na so bi se education enwomasua no eba bekoso wo ye ni amayintem adwadie tourism and afenso bi se kuayo agriculture ni nyina eka ho bia eba beboa my Ghana empunto ne dane the economy no etimi agina brane na wei na wosoafo ya wo hwe my Ghana ene amahodo entam kitawudie eso wonmonyafo samokoje twabla kwa ede atudwe chese saa na monto wei no ebeboa Ghana pa na wei
no Emma may 9-day wonder bia se bia beko wie chine bi no na akwakosi baby anasa akoye buachibidi wose debi we ya na mutuo ya eba bebo my Ghana ewo kwan bebre eso na wo sansem kro ya ne eye osoafo ensensama hodo a wode ato edwano na sabre no wo chemu se ye wo Ghana de hie bia sabre no kew netfo abunka mo afaso a akwakọ ya rehosem pa wo se Ghana fo bebro hanum 500 na sabre no wo mo akwakọ di babi se Cote d'Ivoire na afensu Benin Nigeria ya ni nyina ne se kew netfo atimi adada wo mo ase wodo mu tu kwan akoba bi se Canada UK nanso be ko wie kire no no wodo mo akwakopiem e Cote d'Ivoire nam so amasika twitwiri dia wo gifri safo no ho no enya sam ketwa ho hyehyeye ene ho anamutuo ya ban di agu akwan mu no wo mo nya fo samoku jeto black wa wo mrahye bedwafie wo gina simpie so editu dwa.
These countries include Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Togo, Benin, and others, under the pretext of facilitating their further travel to France or other destinations in Europe or elsewhere for paid jobs. The traffickers entice the victims to travel to the supposed transit countries for the processing of their visas, as the procedure takes longer to complete in Ghana. However, the supposed transit country, in the case of Cote d'Ivoire, eventually becomes the final destination of the victims, where they are held captive in isolated locations and forced to lure their relatives and close friends as new victims into the criminal network. The following key points may be noted. According to the Ghana Embassy in Abidjan, the clandestine nature of the operations of the scammers and the silent arrival of victims in Cote d'Ivoire makes it challenging to determine the exact number of Ghanaians being held hostage in Abidjan and other Ivorian cities and towns. However, the mission estimates that there are over 500 Ghanaians between 20 and 40 years of age who are currently held in secluded locations across Cote d'Ivoire. Efforts are being made to bring them back home.
Eyon monya for samoku jeto blakwa na yatene nkene no achi no wache se o my Ghana ye embassy ye no ewolomi no wo mo aye 24-hour communication channel bia Ghana de se obakobo ho adwa ewo Togo ne potamu nyina no ne mpo wone a wona ma huhiahia mu no wo betimi ede wo mo nsem no mo mane afa ho.
I can confirm that our dynamic and hardworking staff at our mission in Lomé have been in touch with the Ghanaian community, and they have established communication channels for 24-hour communication. In terms of the details, the specific requests, I can submit a full report on the nature of the calls, the kind of assistance that the callers have been calling for, and I'm happy to do that. But Mr. Speaker, let me use this opportunity to place on record, the record of Parliament, that even before this disaster in Togo, we had sent out a circular to all our missions, all the 71 diplomatic missions, that they need to maintain 24-hour hotline services. We have to be responsive. All calls will now be recorded, and we are putting in place simultaneous systems where multiple calls can be received at the same time, and we are dealing head-on with this challenge of non-responsiveness. So all the missions were given a deadline, I think by 16th June of last month, to install these modern communication systems, and about 52 of them have complied. We are assisting the remaining to install all of these modern communication systems so that our embassies will be responsive to particularly the needs of Ghanaians who live within their jurisdictions.
Anishmama penieti ni nke yo sofo yo show my Ghana ne amahodo so antem kitawudie ehun samsam so no nyafo Samuel Okujeto ablakwa
ye bejina Ghana bra se bedwafie ho na emprempren ya ne ye kɔ ne akwa kɔhwɛ ne ye kɔ so ho enke obempɔn ejina eso enke emprempren ya ne de na ekɔ so bra se bedwam faitu
omo betimi am make projection as to how omo person omo money omo yo do because unya shocks bia unya surprises bia say dollar cost low say and the full yes we say businesses before the never cost of madam.
Yeah, said the minority in parliament is boycotting and then media budget. Almost international crowd no better. It is one of the almighty council say and not the BBR. Then you know this minority of yes.
That about almost of Mumbra and Brazil budget fee. Or more opportunities of the Kanye, on best or more cow Brazil budget fee. There's a matter as over represent Mahama. No one in La Pusia. Yet for them, I was a Mumbra parliament. No more measure, no more voice. More comfort more consent. There was parliament. This woman decided on my parliament. That's what more boycott budget now. And then I was a president Mahama so and making sure so only shower. So my parliament. I'm the tier budget now. My president Mahama so and more any listening ear. So with you even after all, Omakasa president the one you so Kaya. Now finance minister. Almost say all say or my MPs more than 85 come home. That person money president. None of them could find share 1 minute or one Kasani MPs.
Okay.
And I am also my let's say GDR and no more President Mahama. Of course, I was slow because opposition vote to make us on person who share president. Now on your president. Let's say the president is a listening president. Okay. But before then, they should respect president and representative. Our back kind budget no have. I will meet you. And then also much a black. We work as in the school and the school who here much a black near you bet is a few from white in the day almost at the
and so no matter black.
So papa is say back. That's almost a black. My names are black. Maybe I know penny be the free because parliamentary Yamian will be there's a budget limited as much black there. Okay. Because I shouldn't buy way out on the numbers of my reduce and 87 or say, or my way at the next elections 20 crown winner. That's the politics and no more remedies. They have the right to also voice out for more concerns.
Okay. Okay.
Democratic.
Honorable Joseph Azuma, member of parliament for the people of a year in Kofum, and I watched the Castle one also. Yeah, Kasa, sir, the media meeting and the media budget reviewer. Honorable Doctor Kasiela Tuba Force in our year finance minister, whatever to Ghana. It's Honorable Joseph Azuma, and one Yanini area. Honorable Emmanuel Kubuam, and I do say Yanini Babakasam, Blue East, Blue East member of parliament. Honorable Mwakaba, about TVS Rise and a year 5.
You,
Okay. Honorable, say my ready move na media budget presentation abaso and that's so then I Ghana for encreding a media budget presentation.
When you are that's it. Me this a Ghana for media dance. Normal country you say. You better a man will means young soul. Or man who says a cheap Minia, first no, not my mere or 20 with you, or Papa Tony name up at one. No, sloop, I didn't try. Then first will be young, or 20 name when you know, self to be my disorder and first one come, no sample. As when you buy, you know, the city in the Dano, and now one day, I'm an open to ultimate first or two. Now, once I says, can I Papa Tony, man, what about it? When you catch a Ghana for say, most I saw most of them minor, and I'm quite trained and also help. The air cannot say, oh, we never tell me. You might be a while. Yet to me, 50 pay him, and your money in a day, you pay. But yes, I see, yes, a baby friend. Yet, yes, said, you no pay. I use it to say, Ghana be ya, and no more yet to Barakum, you know, and I say, Ghana be a baby. Omunya NDC may, here I don't money, mamma. As of course, Minister what that Jessica some a very media. We had never what they to money. A idea to Ghana, Yanam Papa for them.
So, we share more can as I say, our money Miska, Yama the Bree, I had ding what do almost Giro of Mono. You been ya say a blind person Jessica, and you're free or my Ghana for what say be or they want a 2 for be betting your back. That was how media budget presentation.
Or my dear, you had the 2 neighbor.
Okay.
Or my dear, you had the 2 and the woman. na eto bi wo ha your friend nuisance e ade a ense da M1 man no e bit to say betting tax e mabuno mu nya adwuma e na wonsam de brave buy yes ya introduce betting yes mu e11 ya introduce e11 me say this come also the movie obi the movie the same sika no near tete mo tax sa ye wonye ma be a friend progressive taxes and wama production of so tax we enye emu bia Sunday may your first budget you will see a free home. And then say the tax be about a tax ever Guamagana, yes, Cadia, a dear woman. A bit to say, doom so levy amount for Cassia, the doom so levy. Yeah, the Esla.
Enti wey ye de akoso e wo mai mumra hye NK Obrimpo na ote se woni mra hye bedwafo ni bi e di enkomo na waju won waju nkyere afa budget no a e ba no ehwo de wom e hye ni mu se budget ye bai anya bia ni da so bi wom ba bebo o man sikasam ana ntotoye no dwumaifo akatua eto ahodo ya ekun Ghana fo ye ba bete so no ne ade ni nyina no wom gusu ebutu hodom a de betofo mu ho bia no ye de beso sanse wonya nhyase osoafo ye ohwe sikasam so Dr. Kasela to Fosten mika say no ye nyanya ne ntie se wabedrum ra hyebedwafie ho a wode budget ne ho nsem ba betudwa eti se no ye nyina ye watwe ye mu a ye hwe se wobepie mu ra hyebedwafie na ra hyebedwafo ni nyina age wo mu adwa na wo matena se na media budget review and someone who do a wo mu akrunchenya ewo mu no wode abeto Ghana fo anim na ya hwe ye nsikasem ne bobre ene ne tena bia se de sifate ewo mai mu na ye koyenim no ehun totoye ehun hyehye ya hodo a womwo edimo man Ghana se anyenye bia anidaso ewo ba bia na esanse yenyina anim sem dada se ye hye afia se no beye bosumi ensie ni no benifo bon komodi ahodo ekoso nyina kire se wo man Ghana se no ye sikasem no arehemu abam anidaso abam eniema ekoyie bosumi nsia pe no na bosumi nsia aka edi anim eni mfie be miensa aka edi anim no anye bia sikasem ne economy no san na ebesifa akọ enti ebri eko yanim no ye behese ye besan abowra mrahye bedwafie ho biem na yakwa hese finance minister waba bedru anade na ekoso no de befiri ho ba bia no ye besan akọ na ye de emunsam no asomo ene ahwei ye beto aso na ye bowra mu ewo ensam afoforo emuna yo yenko ho biewe na yenkodi enkomotedi aba homane so na sese no de ekoso bia no wonfa ensom ye tabi mu akọ aba na finance minister wonya medruye ana waba ene wo nhyase
you can say finance minister any trimisi ya nookrani made in Ghana bag ya or the church ya a soldier for political crime ya ben ho ye di na akwa mu inside it nyaka asisu prefer tamre here the honorable Ato person our finance minister wababedu
na moni mrahye bedwafo ni bi edi enkomo no wo nsem wo mo de to manim no anya bia no arehemu wo efo budget ya ebai eho wo nsem wo mo de to dwane ebi ni de ehe
yo asam na omo kan na ne se ni don dodo no enkofo no kasa de omo kan ne se abampa papa na Ghana ayeyi ebise the Oshebe Busumi Sonia, which you say, Asitinam, our Ghana Hanum, no, Asitinam was a Omono, Omo, she say, and in Comona, and now finance minister, and Inchichiruma, and that's what I did back. So, Baba, was the Brina, the Omokan is a only bit in your case should be set, and then taxi you are. Yeli baba kaho amagana fo yen eji na minister mabia so baba ti tax bia o bia nche enunti don kuma no se we ya toye kala TV akoko ya kala TV akoko to kokonti e bi se ye ko sulu na enyan sampa bia na anu wasenti a esiwa na ni se e don kuma ushe o bia o minority side ni bia shetuntu adan ya instead of say omunye wa e wati na yambo enjam omuno yambo ye parliament e wa ha o obia a majority for na shefufu nenke we so mo shetuntu ana majority for say na se ene eyem komopa ena ye di ba ma shebe de mu nti na e wo se ne nyina ye hye fufuo no so ba de si wa ha no
Nye nyane nti yese minority no omo kasa anhwa wo mo be boycott eye budget reading no eno so wodi wani efa mu ene wo edi nkomo no na omo ha ne sen wo benya boycott anase wo akomato omo yam
yo se de obi se ye nyina se de tani nyina nya ne ye obi se wona omo asama omo kan ne se omo ayo omo agin so omo papa petition omo mpeni John Dramani Mahama enti sa plena wo ye dondum dondutu ono e ba betina mashebe jeshi no mo de sa plena so mo so mo de kwa mo de won petition e kwa koma o mampeni enu ti adaje o mbenya adaje so mba betina mu ye o mo ntimi ntinam ti yes ye wa twemu ye so enu kwesa o betina mu anasa o mo ntinam a ni nyina no eji ebre ni sempre de bechere
almost so do petition e ko mampani e fa de ho ha one sen
wo bi so na wo mu si edru mampani ho a mampani na be cheche mu ama Ghana fo
Teddy ye beda ase muma mwani eni echenti se de finance minister wanya ram rahebedwafio ama rahebedwafo no munyina atena ase a enche bia obetimi aka che se wo be hya ase ane sa
mbacho ani
yo mawani eni eche emaye breko enimu no ye besan aba mo nchen bio na ye betofo mu bia no ye de asom ye tiefo ye da ase pa enti we ya mani boni Teddy ena ye nenu edi nkomo efre o maimo mra hyebedwafie eno no nti se de wosoafo hwe esi kasem so worumonyafo kasiel atofo sen okura ne bag ne kama ene ye se bambo a ewo bag ne ho nyasem keto ansem panko a enegum my Ghana yesi kasem ne tena bia ne tebia se de esi fatie yesi kasem na ho oden hye ahodo a aban de agu akwamu ama yen efa yesi kasem ho ni nyina no se ya wakopie mu ewo mra hyebedwafie enche bia wogidie se wo be hyase na wa hye akenkan na se na de ekoso bia no wo de ama minority no mo se omo koma mampani petition
nti omo ntena se ntie de ekoso ho no problem any problem omo ni nyamenko
omo se eneskumie afrim enti nanka wo se mra hyebedwafo ni nyina ehye tuntum
okay
ne kwan no
omo kwan so omo de hye ewu na
so mo ka so ye mra hyebedwani
ye mra hyebedwani na de se ada enesi akumi free mu a ye bebo ho amane ye mra hyebedwam ne se mra hyebedwafo hye tuntum e de bai sada na so mo bebo amane ne de a che dada because na no na maame comfordo you kase o se mra hyebedwanu won hye ye omo de ye adwuma enti se koba so obi free mu a ebusua ne ba bebo nkai ye se ade we na akoso na afi ya make statement of Parliament say asumesi free mu nti se ho anamontuo ne say then clerk of Parliament virtual dia come electoral commission na wo mo gina so de free ho but adano assembly si ye na no papa wo so be statement o mo so twen ne emfa hye ne nya adwuma wo se da bi e na be ya statement o mashibedwafie nti wa bi ka be bo ama ne ndada wo mashibedwafie amanu atwam e se ye twen hye ye free busua ho be ba mashibedwa ne beto aso nya mai nti anu nti me mashibedwa adwuma
na se wo mo kra
na wo na wo pesa wo hye tuntum enya yiye bia se na akwa ye hye tuntum wa hu se ye nuanum nkramofo mo ye hye tuntum enya nkramofo nkwa ye wa yiye bi ho ye free fita de kwa yiye ni obi because obi wa de hye no celebration of life nipa ne fi so abone brewe mfie aduoso no wadi atwam nti ye free fita nti nya wo na wo be kire se obi afiri mu nti no wo se chinchina obi hye atade tuntum ana se kokko ana se de nti se wo kon do se ne ye de ni da so budget ba now se wo nya ni da so ma e yare wo budget wo be hye tuntum a that is on to you but me di wo mo ho ya so mbeka so mo mamra hyebedwam mo be boycott because they want to petition the president on what
the dadamanti me am petition president
no but on what
almost say you drew
why is it about boycott
I don't know
samu suban we mo minority and obi say nano minority mo nano minority we there mo mane ma na nya yi kura you have to be there muntie de wo ka no ka bi wia ye bisa mo bi ka mo so maka so no achi no na mo si o de obeka ne kra de iwan kahwe nti afa mu na ne kra nka bia be ma mo nsem ni bi ma mo de aka mo petition no ana pe na pepa bi bo amane se ono ne pen information awanya no de wo mo so mo de ko mampani ho nye se bi o mo ko ka che mampani se eniema mu nko yi asetene mo ayedin na emu mo kohua bag se wo mo nkrofo na ma ami e cheche wo mo na yesi achiwe o na yesi achiwe no we de enko sere ko munyai saa na ebinom kira wo manya nte se wo mo krata nti na bi se wo mo se nsembe ne wo ma wo mo se yentwe kodum ani wa
onipa ye bone ne mra na esoni mu a mra so nti mampani nyai sase
enu na menti ase no enti minority madaroma saa ye be boycott no enko ba bia just be there wo ho a na watie wo fi se bibi ni na nte ase a that is how my humanity here. We had minorities who Ghana how man boycotting a mid-year budget review. Etimunya isa suban no na montina mrashibe dwem enti ye hwa boss said ye be koso mrashibe dwe fie bia nsoso no ye be maso ate e wo ho na ye to so ekoye ni mu a na akra memisa wo expectations wo budget ni me
me hwedi mu se unse ye hye afiase no me kan news ne kra beka me akase hu se niema
ekoyie
niema ekoyie enti said ye niema ekoyie no won to aso saa wo share tax ahodo bia ye hwa ebe ha yen a obete so kakra ma yen a
okay
no wate so eto de etue ye eto ne de chekere oman sa wate ase but eto bi wo hodoma ya na mini
ekwa fa so je no ene baby e deda no e de gege ne na ya ne ha dwene
no enti eto bi wo hodoma Ghana de hye bi so ne titru ko ye port ahodo no a wo mo kra ne ma de ba na sefo no ya na wo bre pa wo kwa kwa yi ne ma duty a wo betu ya nyasem ketwa esre niema na okoko faaye no enti ho no ya na wo monhwe na wo munye bibi emfa ho emayen na entumi emwa na Ghana ye nyina yentimi nko ye nye sidi ye bibia se na ebe ya ebejan na so nti budget na eba ndie medie me wogidie se arehwemu mapa ewo mu a ebre ekonanim ye nyina ye beti bi na ye hu de ewo mu
okay enti eno an ye nyina ye hwe ye finance minister nim se na oba mrahye bedwem no o ma ye hu no won so expectation wetumi de abeka ye nkomo aye di ho ewo Facebook Power 979 FM dia na wonso expect wo hwe ni mo se e dia na finance minister ba mrahye bedwem a won ka dodo no a sema mo kan se inflation no ye ba bi ejina sesi ara 13.7 no ye ba from eguso a ye ba from ye nkwa nkodu July ending ye nim se na ba from nkwa nkodu afia wie de na bia ye tumi ekeka de akwa bia single digit kra na ke ya de papa na mom reflections no ne akwa bibia because na ukọ market ya e wo se niema ni bi ohodo ma ya tete so de ba dodo no anso so ne bo no egusu gina ba bi ejina enti bebre na anso expect say after budget ye chi no finance minister na power magic na moye na hyase ma niema abeba form wa sese ye bo baba so se niema ko yie no mo ma ne mra form bi nka ho na ye mo e pese ye boy dan so ne ye flow ye dan so no ye nye scam to iron rods no ne cement no ne de keka ho so na ye mfa nye ne kama because wo de iron rods bottle to enche bia se de na no bottle aba form kakra but so te ba form bi me be me ya ho keka no o ntinki esisi ye dan no wie na mo tutum kra
ena ama unse foto no a ye de boa eye ya kwan ne akwantempon no eno so no ye nhwe se anda so bi be firi ho
so aba
esan se ye wakwan hudo bebre wo Ghana ha ama enye o
no kwasem enye kra ya kwan de ye de year of rose ebe ye kase ye no afibia nke ye year of rose ne hu kwan no ye no but de bia na abanda na boy amane so ye ho kilometer of road but kwan no ye hu ba bia wo ba ne nyina mu ne ye be hye na no mo so tua contractor for over 4 billion mo de ama wo mo a enti wo mo ba kwan so ye hu wo mo kwan so de ba we are hoping say after budget na chi no ye be hu contractor for no kwan so no ma be ye adwuma wo mo wie main road no a ya wo mo nwewura mu because ye roads ni bi won me no so link to the main road and the ho no enkofo ete ho no wo mo che wo mo e bi wo mo te be me kwan be use main road no oh and to da bia se ye yesa enti ina roads ni ade no eboa because e bi wo kra obi wo kwan no ofa ha ye obedu but ha no de aye no ofa hwanhwe kra na the car shocks nyina ase enti oba be fa main road so na ma kwan so ache enti no ye besere ya kwan enye ana ese nsuo no so e bade ba ubie nsuo no pa na hwe ni a otim se ampa gadamse no e woye nsuo ni papa enya asem keto ne namu enti e besere ese budget ye chi no unsa minister mayeti asese ina guess ye beti asem de bebre ena ye 24 ye kan ensa kanefo no be 7 na watch na kwana wie ya miero August mu asem de no yeguso a yetwe ba enim se enne nkwana wie ye no de eba na be chen wo kra am ya so edi enti omonye ne san fama yen ena no na nkrofo so complaini full 11 ho asem ba em se ye nyanya antiase wo se de hihye no esi etie ba megidi se ni nyina mu no ene efiti ase on the 16th right ene ye de ya minister no obebo ya mania me ehunu se within 16th no ade ba besi ene no say ne ho asem si etie be sa ko emrahye bedwam sesi enkra ya tie ne se yera eye Kwame Agboja Gavins wo kasa ho yenkotie emrahye
are refusing to pass on to the public. The major government programs that use cement, we shall be more aligned to cement producers who are ready to pass on the gains made in the economy in terms of ability of the currency to consumers. So if you are cement seller today, you better look at the possibility of passing on the gains made in the economy in terms of your input, so that prices of cement must come down. Because the price of cement is directly linked to the cost of government projects. And invariably or indirectly, it is the Ghanaian taxpayer who pay for those projects. So we want to demand that cement producers take a second look at their prices, and we'll be working more probably towards those who actually hear our appeal to reduce price of cement on the market, because it is unacceptable that we can all work together as a country, make sacrifices, and just cement dealers. Even thinking, even what your price is, even the portions are going up. What is it that makes it difficult for cement dealers to pass on the gains to the people of this country? And we shall not be sitting down and not allow them to rob out of this. This rent seeking have to stop. No, well, first of all, I don't have any ability to panic them. I'm saying that government is just about to roll out a massive road infrastructure project, which will consume a lot of cement. We have the capacity to direct that cement should not be sourced from sources that are not ready to reduce their prices to reflect the economic reality that we live in. So we are only planning that I can direct that. We look favorably at buying cement from those sources that actually reflect the reality of the economy.
These sources may include export. These sources may include cement from outside the country.
The average Ghanaian just wants cement reasonably priced, reflecting the reality of the economy. Whether they are imported, produced here, of course, government's aim would be that cement produced here should be prioritized. But if even Ghanaian cement producers have decided to make themselves the most expensive, what do you think the average person who is buying cement will do? You source it from a cheaper source. It's the demand and supply matter.
Are you going to fight this to say
well, in my small way, I'm saying that government is about to unveil a massive road infrastructure project. We shall be ready to determine that cement that is used for government projects should be sourced from sources that are cheaper on the market. It's as simple as that.
Do you have average prices that we are looking at?
95 cities makes sense to me instead of the 2,480 Ghana cities, which are called rent seeking, so much unfair to the ordinary Ghanaian.
Is this a government policy or is it a ministry?
I just spoke to you and say that our ministry is about to unveil a significant road infrastructure program. And in this, it's a huge component. I'm just giving an indication that cement dealers should take advantage and bring the prices down. Otherwise, we will be forced to say that if we find prices reasonably priced within the context of the economy, we have no reason not to direct that cement is sourced from those sources.
But they say that the clinker is important. And that's a major component in their price build-up. So if you are telling them to reduce it,
the clinker is important. Today, the dollar is down. They made the same argument. That is why they increased the cement all the way to, at the point in time, almost 130 cents. If you play back their own word to them that clinker is important, what is the importation bill of the clinker today? If they make the calculations, it should be coming down. Because we haven't increased price of anything, or tax on anything, significantly to justify keeping the price of cement at 120 Ghana cedis.
have they engaged some of them?
We have engaged themselves to have things Guta and everybody have given an indication that they were going to reduce prices, but we are yet to see that reflected in the price of cement where we buy our.
But are you also ensuring that the cement components of contract stamps are with the 95 we talk about?
Of course, the 20 surveyors when we put out in terms of whatever they are based on what the contractor says the price of the cement is. And indeed, there's an indices that the industry players use. But currently, the indices they are using means that the cement is selling still over 120 Ghana cedis. That is why the Ghanaian should be concerned. Because you see, if government is building 6 unit classroom blocks, hospitals, roads, whatever the cement is bought directly goes back to the extra to be paid by the Ghanaian. So it's not the contractor's issue, it's the issue of the ordinary Ghanaian. That is why we want to ensure nobody is saying that cement people should collapse. We are only saying that the same reason truck drivers reduce their prices, the same reason fuel traders reduce their prices, the same reason clothing sellers reduce their prices are the same reasons that the cement dealers must reduce their prices. They have absolutely no reason not to reduce their prices. Ultimatum are you giving to them? I have no ultimatum. I'm just saying that we are coming to unveil a massive road infrastructure program that will use tons and tons of cement. We will not hesitate by directing that contractors buy cement only from sources that reflect the economic realities that people are talking about.
Have you begun disbursing monies to contractors?
Yeah, we are always disbursing money to contractors. It's not for daily business. That's a when government gets.
Are you saying that you will ensure that the cement components of contract sums, as you just said, will be limited to 95 average?
No.
For all the contracts you might have approved?
I gave an indicative price that from the calculation that I've seen, I will not be surprised, or it should not be out of place for cement. Of course, we have 32 and 42 rating. We should be able to buy cement at 95 cedis in some parts of the country. Of course, cement in Tamale will be, that is produced in Tamale, will slightly be more because there's transportation costs and other things added. But the average price of cement at 120 Ghana is just not fair to the.
So basically, you're saying that we don't get cement at 95 cedis. We are looking at.
I'm saying that 95 cedis.
A fair price.
It will be a fair price.
Okay.
In 94, it can be 96. I think 95 is a fair price. I'm not trying to price control, but I believe that everybody, including yourself, know that you have done stories about price reduction, even truck drivers reducing their prices. What justification do we have for cement dealers not to make any attempt at reducing pricing of cement? And I think I want you to join me, take up this crusade to them, take your cameras and ask them a direct question. Why are you not reducing the price of cement on the market?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to the chamber and answer the question.
Enti ebusuafo nsem ne bi ne yekotie no we ye soafo ya wo hwe omaga ne akwa ne akwantempon ensem so ebido no wosusu wo se na hwe na nche wo be ya akwan ahodo na akwan wo be no mo be hia cement no mmidi ne ema ahodo e ka ho no mo de adwuma eno nti wo mesre wo mo ye cement no e wo maga na mu se wo mo hwe na bo no wo mo ma ne mra fo mo gidi se ba bedu 95 Ghana cedis kra na e be ka se ye fe na se yara mpo se ba bedu ho na mom si ayi de bo no so 100 ne na chi na sefo no ohunu se ne bo wo soro den na centrofo ne bisa ne se na wo mo ka se clenka na wo mo de 70 ne ade na okokra ba ne bo eden enti de na yenye no 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 susu de a che wo se o dollar na ba fom sa na first mo kanti a mo peja abo ne se dollar ne nso aba fom ti dollar na ba fom de na ne wo se mo sum ye ho bibi e ma bo no e ba fom enti ne cabin days no mo be susu e de a che wo mo ye cement producers ne se wo mo hwe ho asem ba ne nyina mo no yeso e be hwe kwan yenko obrempon to aso.
It's already all showing say what is cement factory or this factory the share the say as on what is produce and what is cement in the dollar na and that's significant impact that was so it is already I was so much now we want to cement price now the swap over cement down at least 95 cities 96 cities they are around that but cement in push a total they are 120 130 they will find that one so honorable government and about the share and ready to be
when we have tons and tons of cement. No one can say, now what was that we want to see cement, man cement, or not buying any it's a salary. I said that Ghana will be a cement. 1 year ground, central government in fact, and I noticed this Ghana in the so the sir is brother about that's the number here. India, a super so, a cement, one more cement, one who come was one more Messia, metal cement, Messia, I say, one more extra so, Spanker, I want to say, no, a crown, you can't know cement, you know, in a dollar and the crown, dollar you saw from the was said, the Tina side in France, now the size thing was there, cement prices, no okay, so cement of washing, everything I see, and one prices and so. There was all not to the government, and then media by the I was just moving back and you saw this song. Or, let's say, one of them live on TVSYZ, Radio SYZ, in the one, you didn't yet have it, you know, how you think now, and make you a good one with your team, your paper.
I was trying to abempon it is or day a manable way free Rashibidremo or day a brain tea and some noa minister kind or a mutofabo and a or day a mayeno ye niguso or Rashibidremo de Beco Subian ever say ye do manable ye de Bremaquian
and some minister Ekano a very good mania jewel cement no said they're not all canon on so what just 95 cities a reasonable Ghana and no great me back from ye bet me up boys and say o enka ni bi meto cemento na 30 Ghana cedis meto bebre they say no aban na etwa mu kwa ne ba niema ehwehwe ko srama who say mampanyi his excellency John Dramani Mahama odwene Ghana for resetting agenda no kan ebia nie o pese o ye bibia ma efo ema Ghana for se na be ya ye nyina ye ho ebe hinhan ye enti ne nsem a wo kan no me de stamp otim so ebe boa ye ye be
cement for no so ne o makasa ne ahwese de waka no o me de be ya adwuma nya so o hye so wo mo se chinchina wo mo nyende wontumi hyehyɛ adwuma ne ma wo no wontumi control wo mo price ne so fa mo but ye fair to ye nyina as Ghana for say ye be hwesa ne me ne bi niaye de aboa wo nso so wo hu ne say sam no atoto adwa ne bi ma hye bedwa mo no wadwen a wo ho ene se obetumi dia brain wo ye in Facebook ho Power 979 FM TVXYZ ananso Radio XYZ uja ne nyina wo ho a ye ko enim ye Kasiebo mo no ye be boboso wo ho de amamo Kofi Simon say ene wanwa krasa NDC mashibedwafo no mo ha wo mo ho ewo edom kuma ne ho wo mo ma wo munya ye se ne wo mo ankasa asem Jan Victor wo so hwe wo kubreso offense no ofene ne important mo se e bo adwuma patience for him wo se fiti bra ya kumi efri mo no da ben wo mo ankasa minority no mo hye tuntum a ene wo mo pese wo mo hye tuntum na se wo mo ankasa asem Yakubu dombote offense kaira wono de wo se nyankopon fa mampani ya wonya ne baby ekro professor asumdie for males ne kra wonfa ensie yie no yensem ne bia enam eye Power 979 FM so aba minim sa ko obi ho de beso so na fe yatoa so akọ enim we Kasiebo
apia agema sense agemo wono so de ne dia ba ya wo kire se wo boy aba so ewo adwuma pa ya fe so wo Ghana mampani aba so pa ewo na adwuma papa ya wo de aba eso enu achi no so Adam Mohammed wo de ne dia eba ya wo bo ya aba so pa na fe so Enison Samson wono so de ne dia aba na ehwe ya ni nyina ne se wo mu nyina ehwe yen ewo eye kasamfoni eso Kojo Asempa Furniture wono so wo se wo chia yen ene yetiefuo nyina wono so ebutu adum kumase ya enahwei wo tie yen dendenden ena KK Kasoa wono so de ne dia free American Town Kenke House aka Hawaba wono so de ne dia aba wo chese Ghana is no more a peace country Ghana say Ghana asumdwe no bawo enka ne se na peace ni ho ne say no de ma asumdwe no guso a ejina ne naso dendenden ti Ghana de yasumdwe man se de ye papa JEMS ekan ye no Ghana yasumdwe man ti menka se asumdwe eni Ghana ti wenyi ahodo bebre no a ene awai Facebook comment no ebi aba yakenkan ede amamu
yento asuna yenko yenim ewo yensemo ede emamu ni mu ani ye kai mo se aboafo bi guso ede echi a omoboabo echi dom ema yede ye dwumade yede eda mo na so afọ ye ohwega na enwumasua ene ho ensem so de atudwa se ne ministry no wo guso a wo review proposals ahodo bi a ababegu wo apno so bese 200 million euros a nina ese beboa ama eba infrastructure mpuntunyuma ahodo ye wo se ekoso University of Energy and Natural Resources ebet media shemu na aboa maniema koyi na oko swearing in ceremony wo mo government council no ne ye pa wo mo ho entoma wo mo suae eso mo beboa adwuma se de be ye suapon no betumi akọ manim ewo eba natural resources ne ahode ne ho nsemu a wo betumi akọ manim ho na yira Haruna Idrisu wo de sansemu nyina wo de etudwa wo kira ba ne gusu a wo hwe ama proposals bia begu apono so se ye de beboa ama une wo betumi akọ manim no wotu na mo nsem ne bi okaini
to fund additional infrastructure with the partner that the university has been engaging is estimated that where it is possible for the Republic of Ghana to be able to do because of our limitation, we are not able to do that. But there is a proposal and reviewing for over 200 million to support aggressive infrastructure for the institution. I met with the chief executive of SIC Life, who also indicated that he wants to extend support, corporate social responsibility in a managed manner to conduct additional hostels. And his choice of campus was in the end of University of Science.
So afọ Shagani enwumasia ene ho nsensemu yira Haruna Idrisu ene atene kan
na wo so afọ ya wono ene hwe akobadie so ensem ewo mai emu enumunyamfo Joseph Nikpe Bukari ene wa power board a wo mo ekoda Ghana Shippers Authority no ano na eno no wagina so etu wonu mo fose ba wo mo abai no adwuma papa ena kire se ye hwe ede afiri wonu mo enchen ni titiri na ewukọ yen habo port ahodo a niema ahodo bi a enkoso ye ho ni nyina no ba wo mo abai wo mo hwe se obetimi aboa na yi sa niema ni nyina afiri hono na eho mu dwuno adwumadie no atimi agina brane.
The attention of members of the new board to a few key challenges that will stare you in the face as you assume office. 1. Multiple state agencies involved in port procedures and processes leading to high cost of doing business at the port. 2. Complaints of high demurrage charges at the port by shippers. And 3. Taxes on transit cargo. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, these are but a few issues that I entreat the Ghana Shippers Authority Board to endeavor to address during your tenure of office. Please note, however, that of particular concern to His Excellency the President is the reduction of transaction costs at our ports.
Wonumonyafo Joseph Nikpe Bukari ena yetene nken wono ena hwe oman Ghana kobadie eso ena wo kire border woda Ghana Shippers Authority ano ese wonumaba no yen port ahodo no ya na charges ahodo bi koso ho a ene enyan pa enti wo hwe se obeye ho totoye na sa ne bani nyina afiri ho na kobadie mu nsam ewo yen port no atimi agina brane.
Janima Adesha Madina Abaton Pesasi Honorable Francis Xavier Susu Nenra Otu Anamon the sanitary park koche school kwada womo ewo ne peswa so amananso aya sabia hodo wo miamia hodo nso wasanso koye okoye won madoye ebo ai se de be yapomde ho nsem ebetumi akoye na probo no edmi kopie mo ewo Oyarefa Health Center okodru ye no wode akade bia won mo hie beboa apomde ene ayarehwe eho nsem koda wo mo oxygen cylinders ahodo de bi ko delivery beds or de bi ko wheelchairs nso wɔde bi kɔka ho saa nso na akade ahodoɔ bi a ne nyina ɛbo apɔmden no wɔde bi ɛkɔka ho na no na honorable Xavier Sosu ade to dwa kyerɛ sɛ die nti a otu saa na moy no ɛyɛ policy a mampani ɛde aba ne nyina ɛba bɛhwɛ aboa sɛ de bɛyɛ na ɔmanfo yɛ ɛkɔgye apɔmden ɛwɔ yasabia no wɔn apɔmden ho nsɛm ɛbɛtumi akɔ yie no na yɛ nyina so ɛma wotu anamɔ no ahyɛ bɔ sɛ ɛnyɛ deɛ wɔn ayɛ yɛ nko a wɔbɛkɔ so a no ayɛ bi de aka ho na aboa sɛ de bɛyɛ ne mpɛso so no apɔmden ho asɛm deɛ ɛbɛka sɛ number 1
policy direction of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama our year mampeni any the vision of the health minister Honorable Minta Akando Ushe Nia John Mahama Edi Abba as far as health is concerned and Rankwa near passy your friend is saying the Mahama care law simply put no say emra ebeboa more chronic illness motivated by that same passion you know and I mean so and then make a process hospitals are who were Madina our money the various equipment and I say Acadia will be here Ediabuama healthcare aye our community mino yebebo near the biama o share hanuma or 5 center where a new facility there may be brain no money and then you call around crowd say offices need be crown are not completely set and then the you buy oxygen cylinders any delivery bed wheelchair and other medical deliverables and any yedi buy and you share him say and then you special hano you be kwa ekonde ni apen your man omu hi nyina rooms are entirely we make sure we tell them omu labs na make sure benya lab equipment e di ama wom it is our baby na wo hwe me a ye besre we a business e wo Yarefa and ase Madina hano ma mombo aye say na be we can lift up this Yarefa health center because you lift it up hana all the primary health care and I say Niama to be emergency kitingiti amobe here say ombe boamia ama first if they can do that before say refer abi ohonoma omoaye
Mrashibedwani or Madina about some persons Honorable Francis Xavier Sosu na okopie mu Yarefa Health Center Dr. Penia or no ene Dr. Efua Gat Kome wono na kasa de tu dwa chese no kwasem nie anamonwa Mrashibedwani atu omani aso papa na dasia ebi emra bi wono na call Madina Municipality no a we Director of Health or ho na nsem ni bi ono so kan ni
Honorable MP lawyer Sosu ebesrayen wo Yarefa Health Center and obe donate equipment bebre e de maye na ye ni asopa because equipment we ye niema ehu hia ye bebre ebi ye for nkwada ebi ye for mpanimfo saa eno ma nyina no ebeboa ma adwuma ye di wo Yarefa Health Center akoso bebre health center na nkasa no ye plan se ye be expand services ye boy homodin send ye be ya ye betimi aye adwuma ne bebre aka ho na send ye be boa ma yetimi aye saa adwuma ne ye hia equipment we are de be yes adwuma no enti saa niema we be boa yen ama say mpo saa ye de opemfo bi aba na ye agi na wo na akwada no ka akwara no betimi a check how akwara no nso ho siti saa no ma ne ye ni bi but ene honorable aboyen ama ye nya bi enti odi equipment ne ba ne ye two health workers no nso fo say enye say ye de niema na ba keke ye adwuma ne say ye behwe niema ne su ye ye make sure say ye be use the aye adwuma ama Yarefa community no so ho abanfaso e de amomo nti aseda ne de bema MP ya Dr. Efua Kome wono ena lankwantana Madina Municipal Assembly no health director ya wo ho ne tene nkan Anishimama yebeko yenim na ansana no ye ntwa ye ho ne yenye aboafo nkrato emra ye nyina ye watwe yem se finance minister budget no wode ho nsem ebeba betudwa ye twe ye ho abasisia
Mido, they're not Biana. I'm for you to be so every time I can say, baby, shit. Magashi.
Junior! I'm saying so enough for maybe the no. Sister Host Pa, it's a winning gas. I'm using the why. My wife.
ya unyanka na wa.
Ah, sister Coles. Use gas. Gas ye fast, ye easy, ye convenient. And
LPG, let me see your hand. Ooh, gas.
Na ede na ya obayi a oda former son ye funu emununi.
Oh, Mr. Entry, also yare ya titi bi ben fie pi nanso ne yam nyono da se me chew no ahodo amato a me hunu hwe a ebe ya nwanwa.
Nenyi ni se what also tamfo hexa capsules any hexa mixture ya no mbom kotia also no bia ma no anom anka no ho to no dadaada also dro de eno any hexa capsules any hexa mixture
ankom ni nchiremu
also ye kura eto ye funu ene ensunu mu etuma wo ye funu ekeka wa wo je ho a enyi also etumi ema wo ye cheko ebra wadidi awie so how eye also de a compare hexa capsules any hexa mixture nanum bom na ho ebeto
pedudu etu a ko okanshi drug lane Kumasi Dani Herbal Takradi AA Mensa Anafre 02038228855 Aprofo abatanya wama won mofra for ene mofra woni mfiedum ye no enka ho Haxa capsules ene ne mixture
Asa tamfo edie age edwadie nkrato yi atom
Every human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. Natural mineral water. Simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596 273 546 or 0596 273 547. This advert is FDA approved.
Shimama ya damu nyina se asan amamu akwaba ha TV XYZ so radio XYZ 93.1 power 97.9 FM so we are prem to bre aka en Kasiebo en yesi adwa yede esum wo mid year budget review no ene yeguso a ye twen se wodumonyafo Kasiela to forsen wonya kopiem wo mai mmra hwebadwafie de enche bia no wo begina simpie so na wahyase na emu ensem nyina no wode ato Ghana fo anim na yenso yakoye ensem twofo yi de ya kire bi na ya to apete Ghana montene so ama Ghana fo nso ate ase ye mu nkyekire mu no ya domo asuko na ya Ghana fo ne yatie fo ne ya hwefo ya domo mo so matimi ate ase panti ye wo haide na yegusu ewatweyem se woso afo no be hyase na ye bohwi akomra hwebadwam na de yekoso bia no ye di emu ensem asom na ye kwa anim no ye mfaseda emanyumaku a wo mo aso yasene ewo Kasiebo yi emo ex natural mineral water eyenso krojen ene wujejie wo top no adori jumadie bia wo penzu papa dia service a eye ex natural mineral water we no do beje o samba paisansa enso no ekoyi ankasa efibi poni mu pe nti ye di mfidie asonsonso dandamu ama we na finike kan bia anim eti jumadie bia eye ex natural mineral water kone ko pebi to ebebo apa wo pe bia to a wo borura mu o melcom supermarket mo bia mu a dudu bia wo benya na se wo be fra homa 0596 273546 0596 273547 ofra empenifo ebeje wo so na Solar Natural Clinic se menkancho se yade bia akoso abu se ye kidney yade na etete wo anase bia o liver no ene wo haw aba ho eya wo mo haw na etete wo yade no de wodi achia wunya no aduro no Solar Natural Clinic for abioma promoter ho no ediama ebedro krogen ene odi betu yade no ase ediama okwa laboratory test ahodo ni nyina no oye obedi kan ahwe ni paduanim ahu yade na ni so ansa no hu odra wonfa emaw fe Solar kefo sisi a eye 0553 9326 932631 0553932631 ofra wo bejo so na ye bo nka ye se XYZ broadcasting ye be ya prum e de ato ho amadwadifo nyina eti ase ton ho fo adwaton de ne bra na ye nya ho bre mo ho dawro kama emfa emao de wuton bia ketwa bia nsha kese bia nso se ye wadwuma no akese adantemo anase nkuma no ode ba ye benya ho bre na ya bo ho dawro kama e de ama se na beboa ma won so wadwadie mu nsem no sikasem no etimi agina abrane packages ahodo bebre ene wom etitu anamo na fo adwaton de no ebra ubetimi afra homan na oni mpanifo ade mu enkomo eye 0533 825870 0533 825870 ofra empani ebejo so na mpanifo de abache se wo mu hia de hyebi ene won aye adwuma ya won aye hair salon yi ebi etu yo bi a wonim trebo a se ye kenro anase rasta etre bia no omo kire se bre na ene won meye adwuma omo onkran ha ya hatwo na ani kisem ne se adwuma wo ya abosumi bia ka kire omo wa ma wa 1500 sika emu do pa etu kwa no koye adwuma abosumi beso no ene so benya sika e de agu botom wo befra homan na woni won mu edi enkomo eye 0246 473271 0246 473271 ofra wo mu ebejo so mensaka dwumadie no egusu ekoso e wose utugum bebre esanse akakra ne ebekodi weekends no uko weekends so e wose wunya sika edigu botom etifa mobile phone sisi ya dial *274# star 274# eba na wasan nya so bio star 274# afei na wa choose Power FM uchusi Power FM na se wumia so a enhihye ne beba disu kama utuba ku bia eye 5 Ghana cedis pe tugum bebre wo ho abonsi afro se wodi sika ebe ye 50,000 Ghana cedis umpe we na opedien eye mensa aka ena ye de abrewe enelefo ede o stamp atim so eti we nya kwancha gro bia nemom no wunya mu fi shedu nwotwe a onka hunti ya na wa shede so pa ede amaye sanso ena mega cash no eno so ekoso pesiga ku botom esanse sika de ewo hu a waniji obu ha oni sika bo nse na wa yare by force be ko bisa na ena sika ya de emma sika ya de encho enti mega cash no so fa hu ehyemu bie eno no be dial *426# 5 star 5# star 426 5# star 426 5# na wa mia so bo se wo na wodamu no na just wa select Power FM ana TVXYZ na no so twa ba ku bia na to ba ku bia no a 5 Ghana cedis ubedi sika be 500,000 Ghana cedis ke mu odru kama sika pudu ankasa ubonso wo ho a na afro na wabegi sika nyina de akwakodi ujuma we no so NL4 edon stamp atim so enti enye kwanchan gro bia unya mu fi hyedu nwotwe a wonka hunti ya na wa hye ne so de amaye adishima ma ye betoa Kasiebo no so na yakoyenim ewo ensem ahodo emo afomantem so afo enumunyamfo charity gardener enei watu aban appointees nyina afo se adwuma ye de ahye wonsa no wonhwe na wonye niye sanse aban ba ye nani abre pa pese ohwe ma oman Ghana ye koduru bo hya sase ne so eti se wo ye government appointee ne de dwuma bi ahye wonsa no be ye ho akwadworo de a ka hunu se wadwuma no ebetimi ahwere
feeding issue by a national issue. And so many of us say, "No, school feeding one or mine." Name department the Brea, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama are pointing from Makodam. Opportunities the Brea or Honoma, yeah, go for betting our benefit. It will be this to say a Jumera. There were apprenticeship program. There were mass law. There was school feeding. So you take your opportunity. Emma departmental heads nearby. Ever key will move through the opportunities I want. Will be over after elections. No, will be one will be. Any other share, no. Young penny father Roma. Your papa Alhaji Collins Dauda. Young Casa, your papa Honorable Kopuku. Only now become your MPs. Chasa see do Ebenezer. The only now bam may become what do double doma. The abroad is one coming to me and son. Mapa Bejinema may I solve it. I must see a midget going forward. No, the dear friend press conference here who you, the dear friend demonstration. I have for high who you.
Monyamfo Charity Gardner and I attending Ken have Mantemu Eswa for no nti government appointees no and wo to wo for we adwumani ya nya press conference or memo nya petitions ahodo e wo memo etimunya adwumani ye woni executives ahodo mo NDC amanyu konum ene hia ye e wo Mantem no emu adwumadie no ase no esonafo no for abaton pesua no eso mra hyebedwani wonyamfo Haruna Mohammed wono so kopie mu e wase a wode ase da PSC koma minister say ene watimi abo anan na wone penifo bedi ehyemu na wo mato adwense ne beye mpuntu betimi aba Mantem no
ni achi iti yede na se kese elema honorable regional minister honorable Charity Gardner se wahye se adwumadi we na se da meka no ho no mesre ma ye ma no nya 9 day wonder at least kwata bia no ye twa le kwata kura na twice a year yetimi enye se adwumadi we na metimi ni wejidi se yetimi ye said we to so a party ni base bring back say na ye candle no party ni base ana ye ginger eno so no ade a ebema party no enye nyaso going for the 2028 election.
Onmonyafo Haruna Mohammed ena yetenin ken
yetwa so call Savannah Mantam ni mo Mantam so afa wono so e ho sale so eye bia wube esquire de wono so etu ana mo se de beboa amagalamse ntwakwa o my God ye ni abre ho se epese etu ase e de free ensase so na tu betwenti ekuo bia no mo hye ba bia na wo mo bobra bia ensem fata no akọ hwenya wo mo dwumadie mo e wo Savannah Potem ho no mo anya asem keto na no brada e no di domoni ma excavators besen wotwe a na wo mo de hye eye ebi di dwuma no wekoye ekokoyi ni nyina na tuntumba empotem wo bolimansi mo ho na tensafo wo makobo ade mu a galamse ni wo mo ye na saade sensase ene suwansu wo ho no mo anya sanketwa na okodi dwuma na chie no wone sentwofo kasa no wo kire se abai we die galamse di obu na ni chije kura ni nti wontwe akunwa ma galamse ntina so na wonwodwo ne ho se wo yo ba paeja waba kuromu ane ho kama nti wo se nipa etugu no so na emomomani abre na wo matu asentia na mo a watu ewensi ho obekoso anu arewrem se de be ya galamse kono a yeso ai ni bedi sunkunim
I'm sure the question is okay.
Way Savannah Mantam so for Salisu Bea Wube Esquire ne hu se video ni mo nani abre ya miani bi ankrofo wo makobo ademo ewo tuntumba community ye no bolimansi mo ewo meyi Savannah Mantam ne mo no mo ye galamse no okọ ho nti excavators nwotwe e de bakwa akwaje no ho no nkoda nche no no mo abobo eye edentu bi beso ha ne ade a ni nyina na nkomo tena ho no mo no mo de galamse ni nyina wakwa akwasese ni nyina so wo mpene so e ba galamse ni nkoso e wo mpeso ana so nti eno ho na mo nto ni bi de sade na eniema ne si ekro no ene ekohwe no Osofo ya wono ene hwe adwadie ene mfidi dwuma so ewo mai emu eyodmonyamfo Elizabeth Ofosu ajare ene wodi afutuo ye mu odru akọ Ghana Export Promotion Authority board foforo kraya wapa wo se ba wo mu abai no obesra da se o man ya adwadie emu nsem ne titiro woni a wodi dwa ede kwa monone na wosan ede bi eba o man emu no won hwe se emu ebetimi apeja na o man Ghana ye adwadie emu nsem no dane da atimi afa ne toma papa bi ede efra.
The repatriation of export proceeds the two my name says 60 days nessa. It's a Bank of Ghana so person mo ya de bema export no akọ nanim. I'll commend the Bank of Ghana proceeds within 120 days. Ebe bo ma competitive.
Eyo so for your share dwade any emfidijuma eso nwanyafo Elizabeth Ofosu ejare na yetenin king
yanto asonko yenimu na yenim se afi ya yewomo yempanifo enhyehyeye se panafes ne hudwumadie ebekoso kama ewo man ega na munam so mpanifo atu anamo bia ne nyina no wode hwabo ase de beye na saa afasha eye bibia brano yedie no yebetumi ahwe ne atu ho anamo ama no akoyi ntie nra wukoi ahwe ya wo mo hwe akwansra mamre ene hudwumadie mutu anamo amiye kase de wo mo abawura miamia hodo e de hweren yakwa akoto mpanifo ni bia ba tourism ne ehun semu a wo mani adi achi no ano wo mo de akogu wo mo na so ya ne nyina ne kanhye ya wo mo de gu akwan mu se panafest 2025 de no wo mo de epedi na wo mo probo no emu no ya edubia eni mpiesie no de achi ntoto aso
Jumedia ekosu yi Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Ghana Tourism Authority, Black Star Experience, NFA Pan-African Historical Event, ena edisa Jumedi share so. What the Jumedi share so kai empanyinfo bia woku edeboa omang Ghana set niebe ya omang ene Africa nyina ebetumpong akonenim. Nia edikan no what the hweren ekoto WB Du Bois nen naso. Sa opehini na oye onimedefo ewo omang yimu. Efei amanyo muchochorofo George Padmore enso wadi hweren ekoto ne nnaso ewo Padmore Library na efi hono nso kokopue mu wo Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park a eho wadi Jumedi no ankasa ehhehye so eho nso wadi hweren ema osagefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah na ono na Ghana mampahini a odikan Abra na ordinary nudi insem eritugano Honorable Abla Jifa Gomashi a ono opehene a oda Ministry of Tourism, Culture and FA Creative Arts anono oditugwa se emredu se omangana and FA African nyinano ebe je eniema abrofui ejefi yensem
enye no kwanso se oboni be ka che otufo se oni amanu mapimisa odi ewu enso me de samu de chire mabeji nana na bra oyensa so ho eti yensese nyeye kan se ade aye media from enye agudie no kwa o from ye knowledge na awia no wakokora no no asande aba no the sense nyanne utu ye goda okoye ni yesade bra na mekom me see me mi wachafa wo e ma pesa meji osima bro edika krenti me uni pasa me ni pasa wasameka me no nyadu na yo nyadu e simi na media na me na nanu dia and I see a move fire then you got no home. Africa na
Enuachino Professor A.C. Sutherland Ade ono chairperson Edema International Board of Trustees Emma Panafest Foundation nso editugwa se bia eduno eho akohia se yebekire yen ma ene yen nenanom amamre ene amane.
Our ancestors would have fought in vain unless we are able to tell the story to each other and to the next generation. Can we imagine a situation where people who didn't know us, we were not born when they were working, and yet they believed in us.
Diallo Sambri ono ene nkoso hene edema omangfo a ewo nyame bechere ewo epoimantem mu nso ede nsemi etugwa.
Africanism without the diaspora is incomplete, and the diaspora without Africa is uncomplete. To my fellow diasporans, our role in the movement toward reparative justice is not optional. It is essential.
Yanti said your course will be home and the ball and I had to be any PC or the other. Yet one seven so na yakoye na Director General Emma Social Security and National Insurance Trust net munyamfo kwesi afre bani wodi atudwa ya watch say no basnet ya ehwo no ya kono pa abefo kwanya efa so edidi dwuma no say na no anu maso mutwetwe ya wode eboa masnet wondwumadie no atimi atumpon platforms ahodo a wo mo wa say no wankasa kra wo fi a wo betimi abowra mu nasnet upese wutue bia wo ankasa watu sa na mo ne say nyafe na obeso ho akom office no sese no san hye ni nyina egu akwamu ni nyina hye ya eba beboa amasnet wondwumadie no atimi agina brane
si ebekoye ni bia si emi employers agent kita ho e wo no ma ye na se no mo ye align e be ma ye dwuma no etu akoso na sa nhyiamu we agenda na da so ne say snate aye introductions bebre I be ma employers etu engage on the digital platforms because digital platforms are more convenience and ma akoto you hono ma na obi aso aye hye na oti adwuma mu e bia na 14,000 when am sorry anko senate office anko any payment no na penalty are ye dream ni na ho ne say enemre what meet na fee transactions with the bank what meet na fee mu other than say so between atna fee na senate afa intern ni aso nti adwen won yes okay your digital platforms but you basically up digital platforms and said that the how bit we acquire a branch acquire so dialing into a virtual branch na yes setting up by end of September na ubetumi edi nketaw na ya
Tininkai Penise Director General Emma Snate Owura Kwasi Afrebani one mo edi ahyiamu Wasante Mantem no 2025 employers breakfast meeting ye so no wode sansem we nyina tudwa na wasa adwumadie no ase no na Owura Collins Apraku one na ye Ashanti Regional Manager Edema National Pension Regulatory Authority one so boss Snate mpanifo abaso wasa anamontoi
abefu konani biase esesa no wo se sa abefu nimdie no ye de hye dwumadie na wo hwese ne dwumadie a wodi a eye nipa ho bra no obo se nipa na ho de mu wo ye adwuma na wodo ne mpanyim fie so ko na ho bedi mu nya fi na okutu nkrata na waka se sabe nkrawo nkrata na se bibi ti na ba bi e dwi no wo se na wo fa phone omo USD e wo omo portal omo website wo nse ne asenete ye ne sese no afi ye bitimi ne ho atoto amai binomu a na omodi kan ye ka be say we can measure up to best practices out there. If you say you do papa or say you know ye de ho ehye
Owura Collins Apraku ena yete ninken
yemfa ye ni enche asen ocheso wasen South Mensim o my Ghana finfi mantemo na secretary anatro for the mass na busua ye wo ho na eduamoa nyameche eneyi wode adesede e kode ma National House of Chiefs for na nanoma trankonwa wonomo eku kese ya ahemfo yina wo modombie na wo mapapemu e wo mantama hodobu ne enso mo ne kese pa ho ene wo mo de National House of Chiefs wo ya kese nanim se wo madama wo mra wo nsra ba mu sanse bibi koso e wo mo potem ho no mo anokwasem ni etwase atwenadwene edisi so wo masrebe ese Minister of Local Government Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs nso na dama wo mra mo bi na wo mo kira oba potem wo apimapim traditional queen mother ho ma so twe bi wo ho oba hema ye wo se edini sie ho ensense bebre wo matwe abese mfie nkuno nie womutwe ye no entimi nsi poda da bia de asam ne kwa ne etu ahyeda ye de kwa ne etu ahyeda wo makoso amfie nkro wo muguso atweme wanso nto mo sere National House of Chiefness wo no akwa kese ne de obambia sanse bi ngina ne to betwa na boa masumdwe etumi abanam so bi mo kira de mpapa mu ni ade abampotem ho a wo mo ani enye ho na adua mo nya me chense ni wo de tudwa na ya bra wo mo nsantwefo di nkita ho wo fifi mantem Cape Coast wa bra wo mo kotena asem ne so ne santu de share ages bo so me da ye to so edun
justice delayed is justice denied. I'm say I am some the offer the best place original so 9 years of up and down. It's also idea about the one ama asona busana wo asebuso na nkasa no sebi ama yete obi omonte ho asabem aha I be the emancipation I be dino SSB ka Oma hine oba hima etimbi nenka ayefe enoma bebre a ese esiso ma ohini ni oma hima ni ile oba hima ni uti no no bebre ayede ipa ba be he ya kasa break o hotel akese wo ka to ase ba o be bi ni o tell say ma se ma ekoso nti no e ma sa ne o menyina no enoma emo esisia no e ma ye ento yi
Wei nana edua mo anya meche ya wono ya trofo de ma aso na busua ye wo ase no cheso no chi ne mpanimfo bi a wo mo so ka bi wo mo ewo ase no cheso ho bi eso de wo ma no to mo bi kasa de kire se ebo ba hima ewo se yi no ewo apem na no ma trankunwa no a nkwase ne wo ase o cheso fo wo mo na ehwe no mo tu wa na mo isan so hwe abako se mu asa ene tie ne senti ba bi emra ne da no wo mo susu se mpanimfo hwe ne mfamra no ento ba bi e wo se de eto no so sei ena mpanimfo ne bi kire wo madwene
you answer will be the landguard and second near day and I do 8 o'clock. That's what you a very a crumb match you maybe I could not put it in some months one Casancasana 1 year. I could not be a few years, I could not be even any of you. I met the chrono and watch him, you know. This year, I good way I can say, especially a person for the Africa for to Kunafa because Obusu said, if you are not BBC, in Fiam Cruni, there be a baby at the Assembly Shada. Young Fawimra, Yababa, Yadicha, Young Fawimra, Yababa, Yabani, Twas and Nasada, Young Assembly of Consul. In fact, I think to the Patum again, the Patum, Young Papa. Then I'm in for 2 years at the Mran, the Castle, and you hold it. He and Jay about me, about Jay, Assembly, the camera, on 2 meters here. And you can say a buy or bait to Mamma and penny for any girl fit. I have him some so my young what now from Zimra. Now said, I say, oh my son, you put down on Tessamson. And now, almost I'm coming back. Now for you to my
Elsia we mpanimfo ne bi ya wo mo kasa ya ewo mo ewo ase ocheso e de che sense me wo mo so de wo ma no atumbi Yanko Upper Dentra West na Small Scale Miners Association in Krabata ye wo ho na sabre womodi abetu dwa ye wo chese fumo gudie tuo kwambone eso no ama na homne so e wo potem wo pa wo so entena ho enye hwe han masa de no enkoso ne sa huntie no se won so de ho agimu a wo hwe se obetimi aboa na sa okon no yetimi edisu enkodem eno akikura no amnamna hodo bia sa galamsefo ajeja e wo potem ho nyina no wo Small Scale Miners Association ye wo fatu ho so se obehwe na saa amna ne nyina wo mo hata so se na ebe ya o kina bi no enkofa owiene emre yen na yamani boni unless don't ni edinsem ye chi a wo to so edi amayen
by akuma sadance be biara yetu efem egude ewo no omutu enwiamba kata so na enkofa atuantem amfamba ene na so my Small Scale Miners Association our Upper Dentra West District mu edi atudwa se by 2 months ni omuko meeting ene hihye digu akwan mu omo ba behwe se obi biara watu amara dia to bebi no omba kata so mpo omo san so kire mu se mbia bebi ho ma ya de omo start kata so ani nyina no mugidi se beboa e ma eye bibia omo ye ne atum akoyi openia oyo organizer edema association Mr. Azari Sylvester ns TVXYZ edi enkomo
ye ni asam ni na hyirai ama ye share members na ma ye nya fato ye ho so obi a waye adwuma ewo baby a fi say eye debt trapper ebe ha nipa especially kurano ka kwa ho ensem fata ebetimi de nkora kwa kutum ana nipa be kwa kutum e de oha bebre oman ni na ne do ye ni association no ye wo Dentra West ya fato ye ho so a ye beboa na ye timi aye sansie no
eno eche no Mr. Kwabena Asare on ye mema edema aye association so de tudia say aban ede jumedie no behye district assembly nsa na ma hwe say bedi biara ombedi say jumedie no assembly behye matum akata so
ye besra aban ni say omwa na say ye di soldiers ye di police ni de nka onfa jumedie ni nya hwe assembly nsa nanka assembly no ne wo patamu nim sa ha we ye adwuma ha nyenti monitor team enti every week biara no obi adwumade bia wodi bia na assembly na mani pa akọ ho se ampa aha wo ye adwumai wo ye ni ye ana wo nye ni ya ne apam wo ye ni ya wo wi a setue kese de mane de bia kan ho ni ya hwese wakata wachi ene ne ye hwefra aban no
akwa mu di aso edidifo so edito aban nim se
ho tira na ekire ye enti ye sira aban se di aso mpata ma se ni ye ho kire ye pa isangalam se no ogu ni nti se ye ma mefo mo badwuma ye ntahwe omotete anon sa no ma ye bisa iti misrew anidiem e besre aha forest kase bia ni ha
forest no wa chire anka ese aho na obema na ni ko ho na nso kase bia ni dia so ha ese obi kase nso kase o ha na oboa ombra down no mbehwe na yahudie na yebeka fa ho
EFI Yamani Boni Alex Donko Enchain Ena Eba yes Small Scale Miners Association in Krabata ye no ewo Upper Dentra West wono no muntu ahodo bia wode egwa kwa musane ye beboa na fo magudie to kwa bone so no watimi akoatia ewo mpatamu ho no ena wuti bie ewo wasum na wo hwe bie ewo wani so ha ye power 97.9 Radio XYZ 93.1 and watching TV XYZ so enie ewia prem to rekase bono ena yegusu eginam ebie nso so no yegusu ewa twen ye mu a ye hwe ni mu se mrahwebadwafie wasoafo ye ohwe oman esikasam so wonwanyafo Dr. Kasela Tofosen wobegina simpie so na mid-year budget review emu enkomodie mu nsam no wode atodwesanse yedi kan ni amane bofo ekasa ye no womekere se wobepie mu dada na obi nim de enti asese no wonya enhya ase yegusu a ye ne egusu edi akire kopem se wobehya no de be top form de be koso bia no yedi emu ensam no ebekoso ato amso
enti enkra ye nya de afiri mashibedwa mu eyese mashibedwa ne de wo mo aboma ewo ho wo mo wo se babetena se nyina na babetena se de mo camera shibedwa mtia me ne speaker no ankasa wo so tena pote na wo hwema eye dwuadie no fiti ase ansa na Dr. Kasela Tofosen waba na waba betwa so no yesi ye no na akanti domne de wo hwe ewo wo screen so a mashibedwa no we ye edom kuma no a ene wo mo ye yiye no black na ha wo mo no ene wo ma hye tum no na ade no mo nua bi mo hye blue black na no no ni black oto na ma ne ma shibedwa mu a edom kase ne de wo ma hye wo fita kama ena edom kuma no wo mo soso ahye wo mo tuntuntuntum ene ade ase o wo mo wa yiem ai budget no enya ma ene kro mo hase ye ho yie dada de atwen say wo mo ankasa no de bia mo ahye tuntum ne yese eyare ho no mo die arewo wo mo die yes enya NS ya kumi asem nko a 87 no asese wo mo abeka no eno ye yahudie number 1 because asese ano majority no wo manya 2/3 onti wo mo no majority ne de wo mo tumi de ye bibia so mpe so mo de ye bibia o ma se bedwa mo betumi de aye nti e bia mo di ho ya se bre bia nche bia no na wo mo pa na wo fa ha ya na gidi na enne wo mo sese wo mo hwe wo mo ho enne ba bia wo mo ewenie nti e bia no ho areho ne yahudie nti na ama
emri wo ye ni nka so
ahye tuntum
unse nanu a wo mo hye tuntum a parliament obi a hye tuntum no ni nahe wo mo hye fita wo mo hye entire foforo different colors eba parliament na ede na ba ye ne nko a yesi e beridi budget de mo simu nti bi da enti mu de mu be hye tuntum
enti no wo mo eno no ba ni nyina mu no okay we ye yi Yera Steven Amwasteka director ebetumi atie ne nsem ne ode to dwa no
activity. Can you tell me two things that you have evidence that they've implemented? No. And you can't blame them. Even tomorrow they are vetting some of their ministers. They haven't put a peswa even in the road fund. They haven't even finished forming their board. So the NDC government is still enjoying what they inherited. The 2024 last quarter macroeconomic indicators. Atufosin came here, presented all of them, about 80% to 90% of them. They were doing even better than 2016. I mean, GDP, primary balance, reserve, all of them are now taken off and they were doing better. Even inflation have been reduced from 54.1 to about 22, 23. That was higher than 15.4 that we inherited 2016. But if you have a situation where your inflation went to 54 and you've been able to reduce it to about 22, 23, exchange rate went to about 54, you have been able to reduce it to about 16%. It means that they inherited a situation that had even taken shape already. So whatever we are enjoying today is as a result of what they inherited. But it doesn't mean that the NDC government is doing bad because they are still forming their government. And I want them to come and speak that truth to Ghanaians. I think the recycling of who did that and those things, we are tired. We've been doing this for almost 30 years. Do you get a result? The real performance results. Are we interested in lies? I can be here and do a lot of comparative political analysis just to get favor. But I think we have to be tired of this.
Stephen Amoa no MPP amanyuku no eba we mrahye bedwani ma de hye wo nhye so abato mpeso aso no sese ne ye hunu se niema ekoyi a NDC for nse so omoje fans ne fa because as a result of a niema papa MPP aban no edigu akwa so ntie na ama no akobasa Professor Emmanuel Opoku why economist or sanso financial consultant ye ni ni nkomo kaka prof yedase awie isa oni ye kasa ewo edwumadi so yo enra ene na chi ene ukasa ene ye hwe expectations efa ene budget no a ye de ba beto edwane hom se emrahye bedwam ya tena se ye twen Dr. Kasiebo to forcing but all tie conversations ni bi akoso no a can we say ene se bi asem papa bi be free aban ya wote adwa so especially finance for no ho aba was ye de ho credit no MPP because wo mo na ehhehye niema ne gu ho na aban we buy woto aso
I mean that Mr. People mention is fine, it is logically true, so logically true economic indicators economic performance no have a long run effect. It says so we take economic decision now. It's a key time kakao now take effect. What does it mean? That is logically true. But the issue is you have an over economy to different governments. So this is the 7th month. The new government is able to handle the system. Or the man no when you move to maybe some of questions say we handle Mama by na manager over the one. Take a different to another one. After baton, here are American batons. And so we have a common 84 for. They would then become the command the first and the power of command and one and one book. The first would then carry command and terminal. That means that also I really one book, but the batons would be and another one. In your time at the end, the NPP handed over state economy to a new government. That is February, January 2025. Now, economic indicators from them are by now. They are there to show. Perfect. There was a projection say economy will grow, things will move better in the subsequent years. But the issue is we are handing over to a government that are able to handle a setup what we term as a financial rationalization system. As much as I can say, that's what I'm saying. We are handing over to a government that is able to stabilize the system, the economy. But every country, they also achieve the economic stabilization. What I'm saying. So, even though the period is not matured enough, and the part the economy, no the economy is the best. But we are testing the economy based on the now do about the what you buy. What does it?
Okay.
The 6 months, the 6 years, the 4 years, the 5 years after we are doing every month. Assess the handle of the economy. For the term I have from Mama, from the money Mama got the 20 today. What are the projections? What are the indicators? I was telling you about how you can sign an honorable, what can do? This is in the air from every so there's an admission that there's a good indicator. Another one.
Yeah.
Yes, there's an admission that there's a good. We are talking about the good indicator. It's government is the global government. Don't start talking to we don't hand over more people. And you'll be not take over. And then the credit by the budget to table another one.
No, correct.
Never football, you think football, which is the most we are part of movie, no, good. If I don't do, you're able to do. And they say, go neighbor, look at the party ball, man, or say, go, you see another one.
No, correct.
Yes, so the board of man, so go also bomb to train over. I think I go and
Kiaji and so.
Yes, well, we are better economy to look at the economy just for the economy is about our whole household income. People don't say a year ago when you can be put about what you. People don't say a year journey a day, 3 times square days a day. These are the things that we are looking at. So the government is making a progress because government has set up a very good stabilization system. They stabilize the system, they create more jobs. After creating the jobs, we have a fund. People get income to their homes. There will be more industry in the system. We are making sure that the economic system are very reliable. There's a hope. Well, there's a hope in terms of by investing more into the economy. We are producing more for export and production. Yes, we are developing economy. We make sure the food production will be very consistent. You look by GDP. I want to approach it to talk about since we are building the economy. So we are not over this, we are not over this, you know.
And
the new government in power.
Okay.
The new government are making some progress. We are talking about the progress being made by the new government on the economy.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And the prof, you share the pace, you know, a buying for flower by within 6 months or call in terms of so we'll make sure say your indicators, you know, and you make projections and the no in our favor, say bueno pace, you know, a year. And as I hope he so be accelerated kakra or be corner India kahon said be ya hope no I
there's more room for improvement. You was not my name. Then I was not the fire. The economy has not been very sustainable for a very long time. Because you NCP by first 2017-18 the economy is one of the best economy in the world. Not Africa, was the projection is there. There is no debate about it. And then I buy. If you can tell the board, we have to call it the buyer. The board can tell the economy in the I was going to do like 4%, 200.
Yeah.
So here the case there, a buyer taking over, there's more, we have money one up with the other, it's not a blow, so they have jobs. I'm up for my open up of the for Maya, they bring in 200. There's a buyer was my hospital. Who call education like you can one in there part of the economy, the energy sector, how the energy is sustainable industry, this money 24/7, 24-hour sector. I like this so but since that make money as well, about to play as well, every me and you all this that may have a lot too. I demand the day but what man brother good economic fundamentals, what why I should stabilization. All those things are making here.
Okay.
But when there's a very good stabilization system in the economy, so able to get enough money to do your project. People have confidence in the economy, they'll come and invest, you get money, you tax companies, take over your pay taxes, no one you can.
Matthias, Prof, say, ye be sure see be sa great fundamentals na wo kan wasem no. Wo susu say ye koye ni mo no dia ni ma ni bi na wo say aban ye said ye be ya ye betumi enya sa nyina so no na ye tuwe dia koye in terms of say ye hwese sika sembe koyi.
One of the problems of Ghana is here. Emma, you come no area you back on corruption. They got the management. They got corruption. You see the funny kind of independent. You know that you find everybody you find for commodity to apply. Now, quite you think just 3 years, 5 years, 6 years. That's why I know that's for that's also. What is the moment now? Time work on that price of goods and services so cost. The more depth the government so the business is not first and I will abandon so about for now my the na economy no but what does it know?
Yeah.
If you want to take them we have to set a priority. Set a priority. Normal you say immediate issues that solve Mama, let's build a very good fundamental. Business food production.
Okay.
Industry. The industry is a crack of a banana and proper you, Mojima. Yes, 24 hours, I can't 24 hours. And a very novel idea. Now, about Guama, after 3 years, but so many companies, but so many years production. And it's very, for the production, the more production, more. But one of the things that raw material production moving around, you do this ever. How do you produce the locally material that even in the production for finished goods? And I make a word that not be blow. It's not be blow. It takes time, it needs dramatic leadership. It needs leadership with quality. Thinking said the young way to other economy and economy is stagnant, dynamic. You want to be started. Economy is started. Dynamics and start to start running the channel. I will be a start to start. If you say on your management of the economy, I will be follow the trend of the economy and to start maybe you see over and then now back at the economy. Now let me read about German economy, how they build the economy. And therefore more, it takes time, it takes ideas, it takes commitment. People commit themselves to say, you have got the economy, you have got the thing. And there's a 24-hour eye on the economy. So you're free in the economy saying your currency you under the same, you import cover, saying how much are we even our budget deficit? And you only budget deficit. I think of course your budget deficit and say, yes, I see a priority say 10,000 is 10,000 year project, you. And not done I estimate more. I find and saying I used to say and they are born to the cost involved, I could so more the same cost to go and complete those projects now. Create any balances in the economy. So,
okay.
Hello.
Yo, Prof, ya wa hase. Enti de na ye pese bi sabiem ye said ye wa kan nyina no ye ebeboa. Wo hwa aban mu nso a in terms of expenditure no why ye niam bi esuso se ye part of ne nhye ye se opeso de cut down expenditure bi ye se na so afọ wate so ho ACV esika ye de ba bebo bi amana kwananim o de no so gina nche ya niam bi akane na nko mo ye wo mo various ministries agencies DSTV no ne ade ni nyina ya cut bi ye so saa ebeboa me yesie dada mu ntem ye de bekeka ne ma na wadi kan boboso ne dada no a ebetumi ama yesi kasem no na kono ye no aba ntem ana
so me for example site the wo fi ko na say esi ayetim na so udi tika pasa ba udi kaya no ma pasa what say that be market with my hand do the moment the council do when na ma ofie no pressure na be no endorse. But the movement of rationalize new expenditure. Now this kind of scope being almost the system in your Muslim market in 1,600. We hear me, we saw we never know too much more and more. The more we say, we not stand up and then also the economy. So the way today. Expenditure, the day we go to general report, also one hour we now that's the issue. But tell the big waste. So I make it. That's kind of like a man in the industry, the effort to be a produce will be a class. Then the other thing, so our class. So they never do so our class. Sorry, Metano. When that's within our class, that's a man. But I usually do in class and I can never be careful about when you are buying here. That's what they are. The more years we rationalization now, we're stabilizing the system and now buying here to be BDI as my hospital, no schools, that's very good. That's the way to go. I want to with my sustainable. One ADB from progress. That is my focus on a very long term sustainable progress. And that I want to find it.
To me, and could Prof. In Charles Sonemum, my infam Pem Hakakana, Yankoya, who said finance minister when you bedroom Rashibedram Wanche, Yabesha sent Yanko Rashibedram run and watching Yabasaba. Now, after the other two joining in that chain or so expectations, Nebe Musa Memo, Yasabane, Wababetuas, Yadasipa. Professor Emmanuel Opoku wa economist or financial consultant ni no ekasa de fan same we hu besa akomrahye bedwa mu nkra ate ne say finance minister wa barmahye bedwa fie wanya ba bedu a wawura inside ho a enche bia no nkita odie no be hya ase ntie be ko sisi anafe yakwa korese de ho asem sitie medini amapoma checheku awieme ne
da chima akosia oforiwa amanfo
yakomrahye bedwa maba
Minority, Honorable Minority Chief Whip, just a minute. Honorable members, the Minority Chief Whip is raising a very serious matter, election violence. I think it's a matter that we should take note of and devote a day to dilate on it. And at the end of the day, take a position because we need everybody to be on board. It takes away a lot of the shine of our democracy in this country. And so what he's talking about is serious matter. It's not something for us to just gloss over. But I want to plead with him because I didn't know the statement was on this subject matter. Because I myself have noted it, and my intention is for us to devote a day and enough time to take this matter through. It worries all of us, particularly you, the players, must be more worried than any other person, because the violence will be meted up to no other persons apart from you, the players. So it's something that we should take some time, and I want to urge the Minority Chief Whip to let us stop today, because we don't have time to do that. And our nation, in spite of what we're talking about today, are focused on hearing what the minister is going to tell us about the media review. Then we'll get enough time to handle your matter. Thank you so much.
Speaker, with respect, I will not on any day defy your authority. But Speaker, we have lined up a number of activities to back home our demands. And to the extent that these violence visited are not atoned, we cannot be part of the presentation of the media budget. And to that extent, Speaker, to that extent, we are exiting the Parliament and cannot be part of this process.
The 2025 media budget review. As you can see, the minority who were clad in black have staged of elections and other areas.
Agrees that electoral violence is not something that any of us should countenance. We do agree that as a country we should be committed to ostracizing any form of electoral violence. We agree with them. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, yesterday I attended the National Executive Committee of the National Democratic Congress on behalf of this side of the House. And the issue of electoral violence was discussed. And I attended a meeting of the National Executive Committee of the National Democratic Congress, and there was a clear commitment by the National Executive Committee to take steps to deal decisively with the issue.
Honorable Majority Leader, once I did not permit the statement to be made, I don't think it's proper for you to make comments on it. So what you've done is sufficient. Let's move on to business and do what is proper for today.
Yeah.
As I said, we have another day to discuss this matter.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I agree with you. Just one last
No,
sentence.
but it will not be fair that after I've stopped you,
yes,
I allow you to make comments on it.
Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, we couldn't stop them from walking out.
No.
We couldn't stop them from walking out.
Well,
and the whole nation has seen them walk
whether
out.
it's fortunate or unfortunate, that's a different thing altogether. Let's go on with today's business.
That is so, Mr. Speaker.
Please.
Except that I will land.
There is no except. There is no except.
Okay, Mr. Speaker. So we will take item number 3 on the addendum order paper.
Yes, honorable members, before we do that, let me just acknowledge the presence of our august visitors from a number of our schools and other institutions. We have over 32 students from the Boma Senior High School, led by the headmaster of the school in the person of George Ampofo. The school is located in the Tano North constituency. Yes, they are up there to my right side at the public gallery. Please, you are welcome. And what just happened is what we call a walkout. It's part of the practice of democracies all over the world. When sometimes you disagree strongly with an issue, you walk out. After they finish with that item, you walk in and continue. When you boycott, you just don't attend at all. Then that one will be a boycott. But this one, they were present and they did a walkout. It doesn't prevent business from going on. Once you have the quorum to transact business, you have to go on. If you have the numbers to take a decision, you proceed with that. Okay. So please, you are warmly welcome. And even though you have been welcomed with your MP welcome you, so please, you may resume your seat. It's an experience. I'm sure you never forget of it. Yes, we have 41 students also from Sewa Kese Girls Senior High School, also from Tano North. They are led by the head mistress of the school, in the person of Margaret Anane Ajay. They are also to my right, you know, and one common thing about them, they are out to take a picture with him. Please, you are welcome. You may resume your seats. We have students from the University Practice Senior High School, led by the teacher, Mr. Andrews Amu Smith. The school is located at the Cape Coast North constituency, and there are 36 of them are here. You are warmly welcome. Kindly resume your seat. You are lucky your MP didn't walk out. We have also from the Jamase Pentecost Child Development Center. There are 55 in number, and they are led by the director of the center in the person of Magdalene Kobla. This center is located in the Afija Sechere East constituency. 55 of them are here. I, in the absence of your MP, welcome you to the House. But as I advised, please, it's a good opportunity to have a shot with the MP. I'm sure he'll be waiting outside for you. Honorable members, you may resume your seats. We also have the presence of a number of visitors from the Kuna Presby Child Development Center. They are led by the director of the center in the person of Peter Kwache. There are 56 in number, and that is also from Afija Sechere East constituency. It's a good day for you because you will never forget about this day. That you came, you saw, and the House has warmly welcomed you, and particularly they are dressed in a branded uniform with some designs, very unique designs. Please, you are most welcome. Resume your seats. And the last is 12 gentlemen and ladies from the MDAs and CSOs on basic parliamentary training. Are you hearing the name? MDAs and CSOs on basic parliamentary training. They are led by the team leader, Mohammed Mutari Al-Hassan. Please don't train them on this, what happened today. There are 12 in number. And because of the nature of the institute, they are not specified where it is located, which meant that it's made out of a collection of many people from all over the country, MDAs and CSOs all over the country, and they participate in basic parliamentary training, and this is being handled by the Parliamentary Training Institute, which is located and created here by Parliament itself. So that's what we're doing, giving them basic parliamentary training. But definitely they will explain what has happened to you. You are warmly welcome. You may resume your seats. Yes, honorable members, we now move on to item 3, motion. Minister for Finance. Majority Leader, you may usher in the Minister for Finance to move the motion. Minister, motion number 3, that this Honorable House approve the mid-year fiscal policy review of the budget statement and economic policy of the government of Ghana for the 2025 financial year. Minister for Finance. Honorable members, please, I'm watching all of you. Yes, Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, before I proceed with the media review, I would like to pay a tribute to the former President, Professor John Evans Atamils, whose unfortunate demise occurred on this very day, 24th of July, 13 years ago. Mr. Speaker, may his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House approves the mid-year fiscal policy review of the budget statement and economic policy of the Government of Ghana for the 2025 financial year. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm back to the House today with deep sense of duty and optimism to present the mid-year fiscal policy review of the 2025 budget statement and economic policy of government on behalf of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. Mr. Speaker, this presentation is in line with Section 28 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921. Mr. Speaker, I respectfully request the entire mid-year fiscal policy review to be captured in a Hansard while I present the highlight. Mr. Speaker, this review is more than a fiscal update. It is an account of what we inherited and the positive results of our stewardship in the last 198 days. Mr. Speaker, following his re-election with an overwhelming mandate, President John Mahama inherited an economy in deep distress, far worse than what we had imagined. The economy was marked by large imbalance with huge MDA arrests, massive debt, weakened institutions, and heightened public anxiety. Since 2023, the debt in the cocoa and energy sector had in particular posed significant fiscal risk to the Ghanaian economy. The Ghanaian private sector and the business community looked on in despair. Public trust was completely eroded, the national spirit was broken, and the foundation of our economy had sunk even deeper. Mr. Speaker, the budget deficit had ballooned because of reckless commitment and wasteful spending. The indebtedness of the government had culminated into state insolvency. The impaired balance sheet paralyzed almost every single state enterprise. High cost of living and inflation impoverished large segments of the population, eroding the real value of their income and savings. Right Honorable Speaker, the mismanagement of our public finances by the previous administration led to a devastating haircut through the DDEP, which denied pensioners and middle class their lifetime savings, their livelihood, and in fact, their dignity. Mr. Speaker, Eurobond holders also suffered painful haircuts, severely affecting Ghanaian businesses and financial institutions. Soaring interest rates crowded out essential spending on education, health, and infrastructure. Right Honorable Speaker, the Ghana cedi depreciated against all major currencies to levels never seen before, making it the worst performing currency in the world. Public sector corruption reached an all-time peak. As President Mahama said, the whole of Ghana was indeed a crime scene. Mr. Speaker, investor confidence waned considerably, significantly reducing investment inflows. The public debt reached unsustainable levels. The unemployment situation worsened, which made it difficult for Ghanaians to find decent jobs. Many micro, small, and medium enterprises collapsed under the weight of economic mismanagement. Right Honorable Speaker, to compound all this, the country suffered credit rating downgrades by all three major credit rating agencies, placing Ghana firmly in default or junk territory, never seen in the history of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, to further illustrate the enormity of this economic burden, we inherited an IMF program which had derailed and completely gone off track, with key targets missed, putting our economic recovery In the words of the Deputy Managing Director of the IMF, Mr. Boli, the program had deviated substantially from its target by close of 2024, unquote. Mr. Speaker, we also inherited weak commitment control systems and irresponsible spending, which left arrests of over 67 billion and contract commitment of about 194 billion Ghana cedis. Right, Honorable Speaker, we inherited a bleeding energy sector with annual financing shortfall in excess of $1.5 billion. We inherited a debt-riddled cocoa sector with liabilities of 32 billion Ghana cedis, a weak financial sector with significant non-performing loans despite pumping over 30 billion Ghana cedis into the so-called financial sector cleanup. Right, Honorable Speaker, steep debt repayment harms were also inherited, where at the time, Mr. Speaker, we inherited repayment harms of 20 billion for the year 2026, 50.3 billion for the year 2027, and 45.8 billion for the year 2028, as well as significant short-term treasury bills maturities of about 137 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, we inherited depleted buffers needed to cushion the country from any fiscal or external shocks with empty sinking fund. And Mr. Speaker, we inherited stored projects, about 55 of them tied to bilateral debt restructuring, with about $3 billion in undisbursed loans. Mr. Speaker, the root of our 2022 economic crisis can be traced directly to an overbearing fiscal dominance, marked by reckless spending and corruption, compounded by poor leadership of the previous NPP administration. Mr. Speaker, the worsened fiscal situation spilled over into the monetary and external sector, causing a rapid depreciation of the Ghana cedis. The monetary financing by the central bank reached an all-time high, driving inflation to levels never seen in decades. Mr. Speaker, there was a complete lack of coordination between the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana, signaling the highest level of incompetence in the management of our economy. Mr. Speaker, in the face of all this dire inheritance bequeathed by the Kufuor Bawumia administration, the government of President John Dramani Mahama made a conscious decision not to make excuses, but to reset our country. We chose the path of structural reforms and transformation. We set out to reset our economy, restore good governance, and policy credibility. We renewed our social contract with the Ghanaian people and redefined national priorities by being deliberate in both our policy choices and approach to economic management. At the very onset, we organized the National Economic Dialogue and the National Education Forum. Mr. Speaker, we held direct engagement with key groups and stakeholders, including market women, trade unions, youth organizations, and traditional leaders. Mr. Speaker, you may recall that clear policy measures were outlined in the 2025 budget presented to this House in March this year. In our new economic model, Mr. Speaker, we tightened fiscal discipline without compromising social spending. Right, Honorable Speaker, the recent IMF Executive Board affirmed this new economic management model, noting that faced with large policy slippage and reform delays at end 2024, the new NDC administration had taken bold corrective actions to maintain the program on track. Right, Honorable Speaker, the IMF further noted that these corrective actions, combined with continued structural reforms and an improved external sector, are expected to result in economic stability, resilience, and inclusive growth. Mr. Speaker, we streamlined and increased investment in education, health, agriculture, and infrastructure, as well as employment. In fulfillment of our major manifesto pledge, we established the Ghana Gold Board through Act 1140 to accumulate foreign exchange to support the stability of the Ghana cedi. We have restored coordination between the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana to ensure a cohesive and integrated approach to economic policy making across relevant institutions. Mr. Speaker, in less than 200 days, we have brought back clarity, certainty, stability, and purpose to our economic policy direction. Right Honorable Speaker, we have made significant progress. The signs of recovery are obvious, evident, noticeable, visible, tangible, and they are being felt. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's fiscal position has significantly improved. The primary balance on commitment basis posted a surplus of 11.1% of GDP at the end of June 2025, beating the ambitious 0.4% surplus target for the same period. Right Honorable Speaker, the overall fiscal deficit on commitment basis was 0.7% of GDP, outperforming the target of 1.8% at the end of June 2025. Mr. Speaker, inflation has reduced significantly from 23.8% at the end of December 2024 to 13.7% at the end of June 2025. Mr. Speaker, it's important to know that this is the lowest since December 2021 and marks 6 months of continuous decline. Interest rates are declining with a drastic drop in Treasury bill rates. The 91-day Treasury bill rate has reduced from 27.73 in December 2024 to 14.73 in June 2025, a decline of over 1,300 basis points. Mr. Speaker, the 182-day T-bill rate has reduced from 28.43% in December 2024 to 15.34 in June 2025, a decline of another 1,300 basis points. Mr. Speaker, the 364-day T-bill rate has also reduced from 29.95 in December 2025 to 15.76 in June 2025, marking a decline of over 1,400 basis points. Gross international reserves has significantly improved, Mr. Speaker. The Bank of Ghana accumulated $11.12 billion, covering 4.8 months of import at the end of June 2025. And this compares to $8.98 billion, covering a 4 month of import as at end December 2024. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana cedi has demonstrated exceptional resilience and strength in recent months. At the end of June 2025, the Ghana cedi appreciated by 42.6% against the US dollar, 30.3% against the British pound, and 25.6% against the euro. This is a significant reversal compared to the same period in 2024 when the cedi depreciated by 18.6%, 17.9%, and 16.0% respectively. Mr. Speaker, so far we have almost reversed all the cedi depreciations in the year 2022, 2023, and 2024. Mr. Speaker, it is important for us to note that it is the first time that this level of appreciation has been recorded in the 60 years history of the Ghana cedi. Rating agencies, which once classified our sovereign credit worthiness as junk, are beginning to upgrade our ratings. Fitch Ratings upgraded Ghana's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating to B- with a stable outlook from restricted default on the 17th of June 2025. The IMF program is back on track with the successful conclusion of the fourth review by the IMF Executive Board on the 7th of July 2025, which immediately triggered the disbursement of $367 million United States dollars. Right Honorable Speaker, beyond the numbers, this is a story of sound leadership, better economic management, and a restoration of hope to a nation once in despair. Let me, on behalf of the President John Mahama, sincerely thank the people of Ghana for their trust, patience, and continued support. We do not take your sacrifice for granted. Mr. Speaker, this government did not come to simply manage the decline. We came to reverse it and reset our country. The gains of these first 6 months are just the beginning. Mr. Speaker, These early successes only encourages us to stay the focus, stay disciplined, and continue to do more for the people of Ghana. There is still a long road ahead, but our steps are now steadier. Our direction clearer, and the national spirit has been lifted with the gradual restoration of hope in our democracy. We have moved from promises to purpose, from ineptitude to action, and from distress to relief. Mr. Speaker, we have established policy credibility and restored credit worthiness. Right Honorable Speaker, the rest of my presentation will focus on 4 areas: macroeconomic performance for the first 6 months of 2025, the status of Ghana's debt restructuring, and the status of implementation of key government programs. Before I conclude, macroeconomic performance, Mr. Speaker, for January to June 2025. Mr. Speaker, the first half of 2025 has demonstrated our government commitment to economic recovery. Through prudent fiscal management, sound monetary policies, effective structural reforms, and strategic investment, we are laying a solid foundation for sustainable growth and shared prosperity. To put the assessment of the economy in the first half of 2025 in a proper perspective, it will be useful to restate the ambitious yet attainable macroeconomic target we set for ourselves for the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, we set for ourselves an overall real GDP growth of at least 4%, non-oil real GDP growth of at least 4.8%, NDA inflation rate of at least 11.9%, primary balance on commitment basis at a surplus of 1.5% of GDP, and gross international reserves covering not less than 3 months of import cover. Right Honorable Speaker, I now take you to the real sector. Mr. Speaker, despite global economic uncertainties, Ghana's economy demonstrated robust growth. In the first half of 2025, the economy expanded by 5.3%, up from 4.9% in the same period of 2024, marking the highest first quarter growth since 2020. The agriculture sector led this growth with a remarkable 6.6% increase, about 3 times the growth in the first quarter of 2024. The agriculture sector growth contributed 26.4% of the overall first quarter growth. The fishing subsector grew the most at 16.4%. Mr. Speaker, the service sector constituting the largest share of the economy of 46.8% grew by 5.9% and contributed 47.9% to the overall first quarter growth, with information and communication technology leading the growth in the sector at 13.1%. Industry grew by 3.4% in the first quarter of 2025. Contributing 20.6% to the overall first quarter growth. Manufacturing also posted an impressive growth of 6.6%. Right Honorable Speaker, non-oil GDP growth, the real sector, also picked up strongly, growing at 6.8% in the first quarter of 2025, compared to the growth rate of 4.3% in the same period in 2024. Importantly, Mr. Speaker, the non-oil GDP growth is the highest since 2018. It is expected that with the introduction of our 24-hour economy policy, the Big Push program, and the Agriculture for Economic Transformation program, the GDP growth will be sustained and possibly exceed the target of 4% for the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to prices. Right Honorable Speaker, we pledge to pursue the following to reduce inflation. We pledge to implement aggressive fiscal consolidation drive aimed at reducing the fiscal deficit and borrowing. Mr. Speaker, we pledge to stabilize the exchange rate to reduce inflation on items that rely on the exchange rate for pricing, such as fuel, transportation, imported sugar, rice, and cooking oil. We pledge to implement policies that target items with large weight in the CPI basket, such as transportation and utilities, to reduce their prices. We also pledge to implement, through the Bank of Ghana, the Bank of Ghana to implement an appropriate monetary policy stance and use its liquidity management interventions to support the disinflation process. And finally, Mr. Speaker, we pledge to implement agriculture for economic transformation agenda to reduce food inflation. Mr. Speaker, it is instructive to know that these intentional policies announced in the 2025 budget to tame inflation are yielding massive results. Inflation pressures have eased significantly. The drastic fall in inflation is not by chance or sheer luck, but as a result of hard work and deliberate government policies. Mr. Speaker, consumer price inflation has reduced from 23.8% in December 2024 to 13.7% in June 2025. This represents a massive 10.1 percentage point decline. Similarly, producer price inflation saw a sharp decline from 26.1% in December 2024 to 5.9% in June 2025, representing a steep decline of 20.2 percentage points in just 6 months. So, Speaker, food inflation declined from 27.8% in December 2024 to 16.3% in June 2025, representing an encouraging 11.5 percentage point reduction. Non-food inflation also declined from 20.3% in December 2024 to 11.4% in June 2025, representing 8.9 percentage point reduction. Inflation for locally produced goods and services declined from 26.4% in December 2024 to 14% in June 2025. Right, Honorable Speaker, inflation for imported items decreased from 18% in December 2024 to 12.5% in June 2025. These improvements are reflective of the effective fiscal consolidation, tight monetary policy, strong central bank reserves, and the appreciation of the Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, with this trend, we are focused and determined to achieve our end December 2025 inflation target of 11.9% ahead of schedule. Mr. Speaker, let me assure this House and the people of Ghana that things can only get better in the coming days. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to interest rate movement. Interest rates have declined, reflecting improved macro conditions. Mr. Speaker, the 91-day Treasury bill rate has reduced by 13 percentage points from 27.7% in December 2024 to 14.7% in June 2025. Similar trends were observed in the 182 days and the 364 days bills. The 182-day Treasury bill rate decreased by 13.1 percentage points from 28.43 in December 2024 to 15.34 in June 2025. The 364 Treasury bill rate also declined by 14.19 percentage points from 29.95 in December 2025 to 15.76 in June 2025. The average lending rate decreased from 30.3% in December 2024 to 27% in June 2025. Right, Honorable Speaker, the Ghana reference rate fell from 29.31% in December 2024 to 24.0% in June 2025. So, Speaker, things can only get better. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have indeed saved 4.9 billion Ghana cedis on domestic interest payment as at end June 2025 due to our prudent debt management policy. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to fiscal performance. Mr. Speaker, our fiscal discipline has yielded the needed and remarkable results so far. We have delivered below target deficit on both cash and commitment basis. We have delivered a greater than anticipated primary surplus, the core fiscal anchor. We have delivered a strong expenditure and commitment control. We have delivered robust tax revenue performance. Mr. Speaker, provisional data shows that the primary balance on commitment basis, the fiscal anchor, as at end June 2025, recorded a surplus of 1.1% of GDP, surpassing the target surplus of 0.4% of GDP set for the same period. The overall fiscal deficit on commitment basis was a deficit of 0.7% of GDP, better than the deficit target of 1.8% of GDP. Mr. Speaker, on cash basis, the overall balance recorded a deficit of 1.1% of GDP. This is significantly better than the projected deficit target of 2.4% of GDP. The primary balance on cash basis turned surplus at 0.7% of GDP against a projected deficit of 0.2% of GDP. The non-oil tax revenue, net, exceeded target by about 787 million Ghana cedis. Corporate income tax exceeded target by 555.3 million, representing 2.9% above target. Mineral royalties exceeded its target by 143 million. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, import duties fell short of target by 1.6 billion. Expenditures were contained at 109.7 billion Ghana cedis, or 7.8% of GDP. This was 14.3% below the program amount of 128 billion, or 9.1% of GDP, reflecting strong expenditure control. Mr. Speaker, primary expenditure on non-interest expenditure on commitment basis amounted to 84.3 billion, or 6.0% of GDP. This is an improvement of about 13.3 billion over the target of 97.5 billion, which is 7% of our GDP. Mr. Speaker, interest payment amounted to 25.4 billion, which is 1.8% of GDP. This is below the target of 30.5 billion, which is 2.2% of GDP, and this was mainly due to lower domestic interest payment. Domestic interest payment amounted to 21.6 billion against a target of 26.5 billion, representing a reduction of 4.9 billion Ghana cedis, mainly on account of lower than planned domestic borrowing and the decline in the T-bill rates. Mr. Speaker, external interest payment amounted to 3.8 billion Ghana cedis against a target of 4 billion, due mainly to the appreciation of the Ghana cedis. Other expenditure, mainly comprising energy sector levies, transfers and energy sector payment shortfalls, amounted to 11.4 billion Ghana cedis, or 8% of GDP. This was 12.7% below the target of 13.1 or 0.9% of GDP for the same period. Right Honorable Speaker, arrest clearance amounted to 4.8 billion Ghana cedis. It is important to know that there was no build-up in arrest payable during the period under review, signaling strong commitment control and fiscal discipline. Mr. Speaker, we are very different from our friends that decided to flee from this chamber. Mr. Speaker, the deficit was largely financed from domestic sources, with net domestic financing of 13.1 billion, well below the 18.7 billion target. The net foreign financing was 2.8 billion, mostly from the utilization of the 4.5 billion IMF disbursement. So, Speaker, between 1st of January to 6th of January, the IMF disbursement of 4.5 billion was spent before the Mahama administration took office just in 6 days. Mr. Speaker, project loan disbursement was 2.4 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, even though Ghana is relying on the domestic market for financing, we have borrowed less than we planned, signifying strong expenditure control and fiscal discipline. Right Honorable Speaker, this is a strong signal to the investor community and all stakeholders that the needed fiscal consolidation is happening here in Ghana and it will be sustained. Right Honorable Speaker, Ghana is back on the international scene. Mr. Speaker, exchange rate development. Right Honorable Speaker, government commitment to implement the following measures to implement the following measures to stabilize the exchange rate. The Speaker, we committed to establish the Ghana Gold Board to enhance the generation and accumulation of foreign exchange to support the stability of our currency. Mr. Speaker, we committed to pursue strong fiscal consolidation through the reduction in public sector spending and the fiscal deficit to reduce the pressures on the exchange rate. Mr. Speaker, the Bank of Ghana also committed to implement appropriate FX forward auction to support the stability of the cedi. And Mr. Speaker, finally, we committed that the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program will boost local production and reduce reliance on exports. Right Honorable Speaker, let me state emphatically that these deliberate policies announced in the 2025 budget to stabilize the Ghana cedi are yielding massive results. The results we are witnessing are not by chance. They are the fruits of hard work, discipline, and intentional policies. Mr. Speaker, the cedi performance in the first half of the year 2025 has been impressive. The Ghana cedi experienced significant appreciation against all major trading currencies in the first 6 months of 2025. I'm happy to inform the House that our previous record, where the Ghana cedi used to trade against the US dollar at 17, is as at yesterday trading at 10.4. Mr. Speaker, similarly, the Ghana cedi, which was once trading at 21 cedis to the British pound, was trading at 14.1 as at yesterday, 23rd July 2025. Mr. Speaker, as at end June 2025, the cedi appreciated by 42.6% against the US dollar, 30.3% against the British pound, and 25.6% against the euro. This is a significant improvement over the cedi depreciation of 18.6%, 17.9%, and 16.0% against the US dollar, British pound, and the euro. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, so far, we have almost reversed all the cedi depreciation in 2022, 2023, and 2024. This level of appreciation has never happened in the history of our country. Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, fellow citizens, Ghana cedi no apeke. Cedi no apeke. Mr. Speaker, these gains are largely due to strong fiscal consolidation, tight monetary policy, improved external sector balance, renewed investor confidence, positive market sentiment, credit rating upgrades, and successfully securing staff level agreement and subsequently the board level approval of the fourth review of the IMF program. Right Honorable Speaker, the cedi rebound signals that Ghana's economic foundations are once again beginning to firm up. Sustaining this stability will require continued fiscal discipline, supportive monetary policy, strong liquidity sterilization, robust reserve accumulation, supported by activities of the Ghana Gold Board, and credible implementation of structural reforms. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to the external sector. Right Honorable Speaker, our external sector has shown remarkable improvement in the last 6 months. Gross international reserves reached $11.12 billion by June 2025, covering 4.8 months of imports, up from $8.98 billion in December 2024, equivalent to 4 months of import cover. Mr. Speaker, in just 6 months, even before the IMF and World Bank disbursement, in fact, without external borrowing, we have added $2.14 billion to the country's gross international reserves. Right Honorable Speaker, trade surplus increased from $1.37 billion in June 2024 to $5.57 billion in June 2024, representing a whopping 306.6% increase just in 6 months. Mr. Speaker, this was driven by strong exports, particularly in gold, cocoa, and controlled imports. Mr. Speaker, the current account surplus improved significantly to a provisional $3.44 billion by June 2025 from $28.11 billion in June 2024. Provisional net capital and financial inflows reached $937.58 million in June 2025, indicating renewed investor confidence. Mr. Speaker, I take you to monetary and the financial sector development. Right Honorable Speaker, monetary indicators point to a sustained monetary expansion. Credit to the private sector increased by about 31.3% in June 2025. Reserve money growth moderated and M2 growth remained consistent, supported by increased deposit mobilization and improved net foreign asset. Net domestic asset growth slowed while net foreign asset surged, indicating a shift in liquidity drivers towards external inflows. Right Honorable Speaker, I take you to the recapitalization of the National Investment Bank. Mr. Speaker, you may recall that I updated this House during the 2025 budget presentation on the restructuring and recapitalization of the National Investment Bank, our NIB, as one of the critical reforms in the financial sector that should have been delivered in 2024. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, after spending a whopping $30.3 billion in the so-called financial sector cleanup exercise, the previous NPP administration left NIB in dire straits with a capital adequacy ratio of a negative 53.13% by end of June 2024. Mr. Speaker, we have successfully, Right Honorable Speaker, President Mahama and the NDC have successfully recapitalized the National Investment Bank by implementing an ambitious and credible plan to return NIB to profitability and sustainability. Mr. Speaker, we have taken the following steps. Right Honorable Speaker, we have injected a total cash of 450 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, we also issued remarkable bonds with face value of 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to the National Investment Bank. Mr. Speaker, we transferred 500 million Government of Ghana shares in the Nestle Ghana Limited to the National Investment Bank. Right Honorable Speaker, these transfers have significantly improved the capital adequacy ratio from negative 53.13% at the end of December 2024 to a positive 23% in May 2025. Mr. Speaker, by taking these major steps, we have preserved depositors fund valued at 6.4 billion Ghana cedis. We have also saved over 900 direct jobs at the National Investment Banks. Mr. Speaker, we have preserved an indigenous Ghanaian bank. Mr. Speaker, let me state this. Unlike the previous administration, we chose to spend to save a bank than spend to collapse a bank. Right Honorable Speaker, we have also prepared a forward-looking, overarching restructuring plan for the National Investment Bank to put the bank on a sustainable path of profitability. The plan also aims to enhance board independence and objectivity, strengthen risk management, promote accountability and transparency, prevent insider dominance, and improve strategic decision-making. Mr. Speaker, this plan will, among others, strengthen corporate governance framework and systems, improve enterprise risk management and controls, establish a modern business model, revamp operational strategy, improve financial performance, institute and enhance supervisory measures, and eventually we will list the NIB on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Right Honorable Speaker, NIB now has a total paid up capital of 3.4 billion Ghana cedis and a capital adequacy ratio of 23%. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the President, I want to use this opportunity to assure the people of Ghana and depositors that our indigenous bank, the National Investment Bank, is now prime for business. More importantly, Mr. Speaker, NIB is back. NIB is now liquid. NIB is now safe. NIB is fully capitalized. Speaker, we therefore encourage all and sundry to do business with the revitalized National Investment Bank, NIB. Speaker, I now take you to credit ratings. Mr. Speaker, the progress we are making in our economic reforms and debt restructuring effort has been recognized internationally. On the 16th of June 2025, Fitch rating upgraded Ghana's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating to B-, with a stable outlook from restricted default, the first time since 2021. Fitch cited significant exchange rate appreciation, declining debt levels, strong nominal GDP growth, increased reserve accumulation, and normalized relationship with external creditors as key drivers. Right Honorable Speaker, to sustain these gains, we will, among others, do the following. We will maintain fiscal discipline through continued implementation of prudent policies to promote fiscal and debt sustainability. We will continue the aggressive revenue mobilization by strengthening tax collection systems and broadening the tax base to increase domestic revenue without overburdening the citizens. Mr. Speaker, we will accelerate structural reforms in public financial management, including transparency and accountability measures to improve efficiency and reduce corruption. The Speaker will strengthen monetary policy framework, and the Central Bank will lead this to complement the effort that we are doing. Mr. Speaker, we will diversify the economy through investment in sectors beyond traditional export to reduce the vulnerability to commodity price shocks and continue to maintain strong relationship with our international financial institutions and development partners to support ongoing reforms and assess technical assistance. Mr. Speaker, it is expected that other rating agencies, namely S&P and Moody's, will follow suit, given the remarkable progress we are making in ensuring economic stability and promoting inclusive growth. Right Honorable Speaker, this is just the beginning. We are determined to do better than B-. Ghana indeed deserves better than B-. Right Honorable Speaker, I now take you to fiscal policies and give you an update. The Speaker, I start with VAT reforms. The Speaker, in the 2025 budget statement, we reaffirmed our commitment to the people of Ghana and the business community to undertake comprehensive value-added tax reforms this year. These reforms are aimed at addressing the distortions and cascading effect inherent in the current VAT structure. To support this effort, we also committed to seeking technical assistance from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, and engage the people of Ghana. So, Speaker, I'm pleased to report that we have successfully completed our engagement with the IMF. Currently, the Ghana Revenue Authority, together with the Ministry of Finance, is undertaking a nationwide consultation process to sensitize key players in the trade and business sector on the VAT reform and solicit feedback from them. Right Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Finance hopes to complete this process by September 2025, prepare a new VAT bill by October 2025, and submit same to Parliament as part of the 2026 budget statement. Mr. Speaker, I would like to reassure the people of Ghana that at the minimum, the following will happen as part of the VAT Act. Amendment Bill. Mr. Speaker, COVID levy will be abolished. The effective VAT rate will be reduced. The punitive cascading effect of the GET Fund and NHIS levy will be removed. VAT flat rate will be removed. And a unified VAT rate will be implemented. The VAT registration threshold will be increased to exempt small and micro businesses, and compliance will be improved through public education, awareness creation, and the introduction of fiscal electronic devices will be deployed. So, Speaker, I now take you to expenditure measures as part of the fiscal. Right Honorable Speaker, as part of the fiscal consolidation strategy, we have taken measures to sanitize public sector payroll and rid it of ghost names. Subsequently, we engaged the Ghana Audit Service to undertake a nationwide payroll audit across all 16 regions of the country. The Speaker, the Audit Service has completed 91% of the payroll audit. So far, the Audit Service has not been able to identify or verify over 14,000 workers. Mr. Speaker, again, they have identified 53,311 separated staff on the payroll. Mr. Speaker, separated staffs are staff who are either on retirement, reassigned, terminated, or are on leave without pay or deceased and yet remain on government payroll. Mr. Speaker, the audit service expects to recover a minimum of 150.4 million of unearned salary from the separated staff over 2023 and 2024 period alone. Right Honorable Speaker, going forward, we will enforce the monthly payroll validation process and strictly apply sanctions to all who validate ghosts for payment of salaries. Mr. Speaker, let me use this opportunity to strongly caution those who validate ghosts across the public service that they will be personally liable for the loss of public fund. Mr. Speaker, let me repeat. Let me use this opportunity to strongly caution those who validate ghosts across the public service that they will be personally liable for the loss of public funds. Right Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Finance will continue to monitor this payroll and put in place measures to prevent ghosts on the payroll going forward. Mr. Speaker, I now give you an update on the arrears payable audit that we did. Mr. Speaker, in the 2025 budget, we announced the launch of an audit of arrears and payables as at end December 2024. The Ghana Audit Service partnered with EY and PwC to undertake this audit. Mr. Speaker, the audit service was tasked to audit and validate 68.7 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, 68.7 billion Ghana cedis. So far, Mr. Speaker, 87% of the audit has been completed. Results show so far are as follows. Mr. Speaker, a total of 28.3 billion Ghana cedis has been validated for payment. Mr. Speaker, 27.3 billion is pending validation as we speak. Right Honorable Speaker, an amount of 3.6 billion Ghana cedis has been rejected because of errors, duplication, and non-compliance with PFM and procurement rules. The Speaker, of this amount, 562.6 million is without adequate supporting document. So Speaker, the outcome of this audit will blow your mind. Mr. Speaker, the audit is expected to be completed by end of August 2025. Once finalized, we will update the House on the findings and outcomes. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to update on the IMF program. Right Honorable Speaker, Ghana remains on track on the implementation of the IMF program. A staff level agreement was reached during the fourth review mission in April 2025, and we received executive board approval on the 7th of July 2025. This unlocked $367 million disbursement, bringing the total disbursement under this program to $2.3 billion. The fifth review, which is scheduled for September 2025, will be based on June 2025 data. As a Speaker, I'm comfortable that Ghana is on course to achieve most of the target for the fifth review. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to public debt development. Right Honorable Speaker, our commitment to fiscal discipline through prudent debt management and exchange rate appreciation has resulted in a significant improvement in Ghana's debt profile. Public debt reduced from 726.7 billion as at end December 2024 to 613 billion as at end June 2025. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's public debt reduced by 113.7 billion Ghana cedis in 6 months. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in Ghana's history, there is a negative 15.6% rate of debt accumulation. Right Honorable Speaker, Ghana's public debt to GDP ratio as at end June 2025 was 43.8% from the 61.8% of end December 2024. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's public debt as a percentage of GDP reduced by 18% of GDP in the last 6 months. Ghana's foreign debt as a percentage of total public debt declined from 57.4% as at end December 2024 to 49% by end June 2025. Mr. Speaker, this has significantly improved Ghana's debt sustainability. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to update on debt restructuring. Right Honorable Speaker, government remains committed to restructuring our bilateral and commercial debt under the G20 Common Framework. On the 24th of June 2025, the House approved an indicative terms of the Memorandum of Understanding between Ghana and Official Creditors Committee. On behalf of His Excellency the President, I wish to thank this House for swift action which has enabled Ghana to begin negotiation for the signing of bilateral agreement with each of the creditor countries. We are ready to sign the agreement with two countries as at tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, it is expected that 4 agreements will be signed by close of tomorrow. First will sign with France and the second will sign with another country yet to be confirmed. Mr. Speaker, on the commercial debt restructuring, we have signed non-disclosure agreement, NDAs, with some commercial lenders in line with the government's strong commitment to honoring its debt obligation. We have made 2 debt service payments of about $700 million to our Eurobond holders. Mr. Speaker, on the domestic front, government continues to meet its commitment towards the domestic bond holders. For the first half of 2025, a total of 9.8 billion Ghana cedis was paid to coupons to DDEP bondholders, of which 3.6 billion Ghana cedis was capitalized. Right Honorable Speaker, for non-tendered bondholders, government paid a total of 1.1 billion Ghana cedis. This was the outstanding debt service as at 2024. Mr. Speaker, for the second half of 2025, an amount of 10.2 billion Ghana cedis is due as coupon payment on the DDEP bonds and 724.1 million as debt service for the non-tendered bondholders. It is important to know that government remains committed to honoring its debt service obligation, and therefore we have made sufficient preparation towards the settlement of this debt, and bondholders should not worry, this amount will be paid in due course. Mr. Speaker, priority project under the restructured bilateral debt. Following Ghana's default on its external debt service obligation on the 19th December 2022, creditors halted disbursement of 55 bilateral projects. This resulted in several uncompleted projects dotted across the country, with a massive $3 billion in undisbursed loans. The IMF and Official Creditors Committee annual disbursement ceiling of 250 million for official creditors loan implies that it will take 12 good years to fully draw down on the undisbursed loans. Under the MOU with the Official Creditors Committee, the government of Ghana was required to submit a priority list to accommodate the 250 million annual disbursement ceiling. Right Honorable Speaker, during the presentation of the 2025 budget and economic policy of government, I informed this House that we will engage to resolve this challenge. Following the extensive engagement, government has submitted a priority list of 24 projects to the OCC and the IMF. This is expected to trigger resumption of disbursement for projects on the priority list upon the signing of bilateral agreement between Ghana and the creditor countries. We aim to ensure that all the priority projects are completed and commissioned by end 2028. Mr. Speaker, the priority projects are as follows. We are going to build a new bridge across the Volta River at Volivo. Mr. Speaker, the reconstruction of Tema Aflao Road project phase 1. Tema motorway runabout through Ashiaman runabout to Atimpoku. The construction of 14 pedestrian bridges, Kumasi roads and drainage extension. Mr. Speaker, Power Grant interchange and the secondary Takrady Township Road phase 1. Rehabilitation of Domikitasi Road. Obichedi Lamte Interchange Phase 2, Bogatanga Boko Pomakrom Road, PTC Runabout Interchange Project at Takrade, construction of drinking water facilities in Wenchi, secondary Takrade water supply, modernization of Komfo Anoche Teaching Hospital, construction of central medical stores in Tema, Efia Nkwanta Regional Hospital in Takrade, Bogatanga Regional Hospital, establishment of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development at Bonsu, establishment of 9 state-of-the-art technical and vocational education training center, and, Mr. Speaker, integrated e-learning laboratories in senior high schools. Mr. Speaker, that's not all. The expansion and development of existing senior high schools, renewable energy program, pilot photovoltaic system, Mr. Speaker, the renewable energy and energy efficiency program, and the construction of Takrade Market. Mr. Speaker, finally, the Kumasi Central Market Phase 2. Mr. Speaker, the main criterion for the selection of this project was closeness to completion. As a result, projects which were over 70% complete were given priority. The resumption of disbursement for the project and its associated debt service are fully in line with our commitment under the bilateral debt restructuring and IMF program. Right, Honorable Speaker, there's no room for an increase in scope for any of the project on the priority list as agreed upon at the IMF and the OCC. Implementing agencies must take note and comply accordingly. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, there is no room for any increase in scope for work for any of the project on the priority list agreed upon with the IMF and the Official Creditors Committee. Implementing agencies must take note and comply accordingly. Mr. Speaker, it has come to the attention of the Ministry of Finance that a number of contractors implementing some of these 55 stalled projects have drawn down on the loans with no work done to match the amount drawn down. Mr. Speaker, sadly, it has come to the attention of the Ministry of Finance that a number of contractors implementing some of these 55 projects have drawn down on the loans with no work done to match the amount drawn down. Again, some contractors have submitted additional works, additional costs in excess of what Parliament approved. The Ministry of Finance has accordingly commissioned a forensic audit into this project. Mr. Speaker, we will apprise the House when this audit is completed. And Mr. Speaker, for emphasis, the Auditor General is the one doing this forensic audit in partnership with some of the Big Four. Update on sinking fund. Mr. Speaker, in the 2025 budget statement, government announced that it will commence the operationalization of Section 37 to 44 of the Public Financial Management Act, Act 921. As amended, to build sufficient buffers in the sinking fund for prompt redemption of specified loans obligations of government. Mr. Speaker, government has set up a CD sinking fund account and US dollar sinking fund account. Beginning August 2025, the Ministry of Finance will commence the building of cash buffers to support the repayment of Ghana's domestic debt service obligation relating to the domestic debt exchange program bonds, which will fall due in the year 2027, 2028, and even 2026. Mr. Speaker, the CD sinking fund will specifically target the redemption and debt service harms in 2026 of $20 billion Ghana cedis for the year 2026, 50.3 billion Ghana cedis for the year 2027, and 45.75 billion Ghana cedis for the year 2025. Similarly, the US dollar sinking fund account will also target Eurobond redemption, which will fall due from 2026 of $1.45 billion US dollars, $1.17 billion US dollars in 2027, and $1.14 billion US dollars in the year 2028. Mr. Speaker, the implementation of the sinking fund will provide a reliable buffers that ensures timely and predictable redemption of this designated public debt obligation. This structured approach to debt service will enhance investor confidence and contribute to long-term debt sustainability of our dear country. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to Government of Ghana's liability management operations. Mr. Speaker, government has begun an implementation of an effective and efficient liability management program to reduce embedded risk on debt portfolio. Our liability management operation will 1. Reduce debt service costs and mitigate refinancing or rollover risk. Extend maturities to alleviate near-term financing pressures. So, Speaker, to optimize the debt portfolio by rebalancing the mix of short-term versus long-term instruments and strengthen market confidence. Under our liability management operations, Mr. Speaker, we will analyze the domestic bond market to assess suitability for bonds buybacks. We will carefully sequence issuance of benchmark securities and prioritize longer dated tenor to establish a stable yield curve. Mr. Speaker, I take you to primary dealers and bond market specialist system as we inherited. Mr. Speaker, our debt management strategy is to use treasury bills for cash management purposes only. We intend to reopen the domestic bond market to finance the budget deficit. The reopening of the domestic bond market will aim at creating a more competitive primary market that can deliver the volume and pricing to enable the government lower its borrowing costs. So, Speaker, beginning August 2025, we will commence the selection of new book runners to assist government in the reopening of the domestic bond market. Mr. Speaker, for emphasis, beginning 2025 August, the government of Ghana will commence the selection of new book runners to assist government in the reopening of the domestic bond market. Mr. Speaker, the selection of book runners will focus on banks and investment dealers with the ability to achieve a wider market distribution and advice on pricing and structuring. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to revise macroeconomic framework. Mr. Speaker, macroeconomic target. Economic development in the first half of the year do not warrant a revision to the macroeconomic target and the appropriations bill. Mr. Speaker, I am not asking for additional money from the Appropriations Act. We maintain the following macroeconomic target for 2025. 1. Overall GDP growth at least 4.0%. At least. Non-oil GDP growth of at least 4.8%. End-year inflation rate of 11.9%. Primary balance on commitment basis at a surplus of 1.5% of GDP. And gross international reserves covering not less than 3 months of import. Mr. Speaker, although we have made significant progress, we are cautiously optimistic. Right Honorable Speaker, despite maintaining our macroeconomic target for 2025, including the primary balance on commitment basis of a surplus of 1.5% of GDP, we are revising both revenue and expenditure projections to reflect the impact of the additional revenue from the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Act 2025, Act 1141. Revisions to revenue. Right Honorable Speaker, as a result, total revenue and grant has been revised upwards from the 2025 budget target of 227.1 billion to 229.9 billion, or from 16.2% of GDP to 16.4% of GDP. This represents a nominal increase of 1.3%. Mr. Speaker, the additional revenue of 2.9 billion Ghana cedis will come from the increase in revenues from the amendment to the Energy Sector Levies Act. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to revisions to expenditures. Mr. Speaker, total expenditure on commitment basis has been revised downwards from 269.5 billion from the original budget projection of 270.9 billion Ghana cedis. However, primary expenditures has been revised upwards to 209.6 billion from the original budget projection of 206.8 billion Ghana cedis. This upward adjustment reflects an increase in the allocation to support energy sector payment. Mr. Speaker, interest payments have been revised downwards by 4.3 billion Ghana cedis from the original budget projection of 64.1 billion to 59.9 billion cedis. Right Honorable Speaker, domestic interest has been revised downwards by 5.1 billion Ghana cedis, mainly on account of gains from the reduction in the treasury bill rate as a result of the implementation of our prudent debt management policies. However, external interest payments have been revised upwards by 795 million to make additional provision for debt service due on post-cut-off date disbursement made by our bilateral creditors since 2023. Mr. Speaker, energy sector payments have also been revised upwards by 2.9 billion Ghana cedis to provision for fuel fuel purchases for power generation. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to overall balance and financing. Right Honorable Speaker, notwithstanding the revisions to revenue and expenditure, the primary balance on commitment basis remains unchanged at a surplus of 1.5% of GDP. Based on the revisions to revenue and expenditure, the following fiscal balance on cash basis improves from a deficit of 4.1% of GDP to 3.8% of GDP. I mean the fiscal balance. The overall fiscal balance on commitment basis improves from a deficit of 3.1% to 2.8%, and the projected annual borrowing needs of government reduced by 4.3 billion Ghana cedis. Simple put, we will be borrowing less by 4.3 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, risk to 2025 budget, risk to the 2025 fiscal framework. Mr. Speaker, despite the robust fiscal performance, there are some underlying risks which pose a threat to the 2025 fiscal framework. The risks are as follows: shortfalls in customs revenue, smuggling of marine gas oil, mounting wage pressures, and pricing and award of contract in foreign currency. The Speaker, I'll take them one by one. Customs revenue. Right Honorable Speaker, customs revenue recorded a significant shortfall of 1.6 billion, even though the overall revenue is doing well, representing 12.7% reduction from the first half of 2025. This performance is attributed to systemic revenue leakage at key customs collection points, particularly the Tema port and the smuggling of goods across our land borders. Mr. Speaker, these developments pose risk to the attainment of our revenue target for the year 2025. To mitigate these risks, government is implementing the following measures to address the existing operational challenges to safeguard revenue. 1. We will adopt the use of artificial intelligence, AI, to minimize human interference in revenue assessment, supporting the validation of the country of origin, as well as the accuracy of classification and valuation of imported goods. Mr. Speaker, we are rolling out advanced cargo information system to ensure that the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, GPHA, and the Ghana Revenue Authority, the GRA, receives comprehensive shipment detail at least 24 hours prior to vessel departure from the port of origin. The Speaker, this will enable pre-arrival risk assessment, reduce the need for documentation amendment, and facilitate more accurate and timely duty assessment. We will also be implementing a robust anti-smuggling surveillance program targeting both inland and maritime borders. And to those at Sankase, we are coming after you. Mr. Speaker, reviewing the institutional setup of Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, including staff mobility. Speaker, let me repeat this. We will be reviewing the institutional setup of Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, including staff mobility, to facilitate the decentralization of customs operations. Mr. Speaker, operational risk assessment to enhance transparency and accountability of staff will be enhanced. Now I will take you to the smuggling of marine gas oil, MGO. Right Honorable Speaker, tax exemptions on marine gas oil was introduced to support non-artisanal fishing fleet operating from Ghana. Over the years, the tax exemptions have created incentive to abuse and smuggling of MGO onto the open market, resulting in revenue losses estimated at nearly $500 million Ghana cedis every year. The government will withdraw the tax exemption to curb smuggling and stem the erosion of tax revenue, thereby reducing the fiscal risk to the 2025 budget. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to wages and salary, which happens to be the third risk to the budget. Right Honorable Speaker, we have seen some significant pressures on the compensation budget for the first half of 2025, mainly emanating from wages and salaries. Wages and salaries exceeded the target by 1.3 billion Ghana cedis for the first 6 months of the year. Mr. Speaker, the wage pressures were largely driven by last-minute recruitment undertaken by the previous MPP administration in the last quarter of 2024, especially in the areas of education, health, and security sector. Mr. Speaker, let me repeat. The wage pressures we are largely seeing are driven by the last-minute recruitment undertaken by the previous government in the last quarter of 2024, especially in areas of education, health, and the security sector. In addition, ad hoc reviews of conditions of service undertaken in previous years have distorted the single spine pay policy and further burdened the public wage. Mr. Speaker, the government is implementing the following measures to address this challenge. Number one, we'll conduct regular nationwide staff payroll audit to sanitize the payroll. Mr. Speaker, we will be realigning all staff from overstaffed areas and defunct MDAs to areas with critical staffing needs. Right Honorable Speaker, we will finalize the process for the establishment of the Independent Emolument Committee as part of the broader effort to reform and reset public sector pay. And finally, we will issue an executive directive mandating all MDAs to seek approval from the Minister of Finance or the Ministry of Finance before making any commitment with financial implications on the payroll. Mr. Speaker, pricing and award of contract in foreign currency. Pricing and award of contract in foreign currency. Mr. Speaker, pricing of goods and services and award of contract in foreign currency pose significant risk to fiscal management with severe implications for the stability of our Ghana city. Unfortunately, foreign currencies are becoming the means of transacting business in Ghana. This trend, if not checked, will erode the confidence in our currency, drive inflation, and result in the loss of value in the symbol of our sovereignty. The Speaker, to curb this unfortunate development, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama has directed that beginning today, 24th of July 2025, no contract awarded by government, irrespective of source of fund, should be denominated in foreign currency. Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker. To curb this unfortunate development, President John Dramani Mahama has directed that beginning today, 24th of July 2025, no contract awarded by government, irrespective of source of funding, should be denominated in foreign currency. Mr. Speaker, we also want to use this opportunity to remind the public that per the Foreign Exchange Act 2006, Act 723, companies, institutions, and individuals are prohibited from pricing, advertising, receipting, or making payment for goods and services in foreign currencies in Ghana without prior written approval from the Bank of Ghana. Right Honorable Speaker, I will take you to key policy initiatives. Mr. Speaker, I now present updates on key policy initiatives outlined in the 2025 budget. Right Honorable Speaker, since its establishment in April 2025, The Ghana Gold Board has initiated reforms to licensing regime that governs the local gold trading sector and introduced new aggregation system to effectively mop up gold from artisanal small-scale mining sector across the country. These measures have already yielded tangible economic benefits within the short period of operation of the Ghana Gold Board. In the first half of 2025 alone, gold export from the small-scale sector stood at 51.5 tons with an export value of approximately $5 billion. This figure far exceeds the 26.4 tons which are with an export value of $1.8 billion from the small-scale mining sector over the same period in 2024. Mr. Speaker, simple put, gold export in tons from the small-scale mining sector for the first half of 2025 recorded about 100% increase over what was recorded in the year 2024. Similarly, the value of gold export from small-scale mining increased by about 180% for the first half of 2025 over that of the same period in 2024. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in Ghana's history, gold export from small-scale mining sector have exceeded gold export from large-scale sector. Mr. Speaker, the substantial foreign exchange inflows from the gold board operations in the artisanal small-scale mining sector have significantly strengthened our reserves, improved our balance of payment, and provided critical support for the Ghana city. Mr. Speaker, this tells a story of a country which has been denied the full benefit of its gold resources, a story of a country where illegal gold trade and smuggling have been allowed to fester to the detriment of the well-being of the people. Right Honorable Speaker, on the 8th of July 2025, His Excellency President John Mahama inaugurated a task force to tackle illegal gold trade and smuggling. I also want to use this opportunity as the Sector Minister to reiterate that the government of President Mahama would deal ruthlessly with anyone found engaging in illegal trade and smuggling, as these nation-wrecking activities sabotage the progress of our country. Mr. Speaker, I also want to reiterate the point that no one should come to us and beg because we will not spare. Mr. Speaker, the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program deserves some update. Mr. Speaker, earlier this month, President Mahama officially launched the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program, Ghana's ambitious and integrated strategy to boost production, create sustainable jobs, and modernize our economy. The 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program represent a national reset aimed at reducing import dependence, expanding domestic production, improving market access, and building a competitive, skilled workforce for a dynamic economy. Right Honorable Speaker, the anchor of the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program is the Volta Economic Corridor, a transformational project to unlock the vast economic and environmental potential of the Volta Lake and its surrounding lands. Mr. Speaker, the Volta Economic Corridor revives and expands on Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's original vision of the Volta project as a hub for agro-industry, trade and transport, now reimagined to fit today's economic reality and regional opportunities. Mr. Speaker, the Volta Economic Corridor will be executed through the following pillars of the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program. Right Honorable Speaker, Grow 24 will irrigate 2 million hectares of farmlands for year-round farming instead of the traditional seasonal farming. Right Honorable Speaker, Make 24 will establish agro-industrial parks for textiles, pharmaceuticals, and food processing. The Speaker, Show 24 will develop tourism clusters and hospitality hubs along the Volta Lake, and Connect 24 will turn the lake into a major inland transport route, cutting haulage costs and linking northern, southern, eastern, and western Ghana. Mr. Speaker, to support this transformative program, the Ministry of Finance will, in the 2026 budget, outline targeted incentives for the Volta Economic Corridor. These measures will be carefully designed to attract private capital, drive enterprise growth, and create decent, well-paying jobs. The Speaker, for emphasis, the Ministry of Finance will, as part of the 2026 budget, outline a targeted incentive for the Volta Economic Corridor. Right Honorable Speaker, the government will only facilitate and not dominate this ambitious growth pool. The Speaker, I now take you to the big push. Right Honorable Speaker, as part of the 2025 budget, we announced the commencement of the Big Push program, a flagship initiative of President John Dramani Mahama for massive infrastructure development. Since then, the President has dedicated all Big Push budgetary allocation for the next 2 years, Mr. Speaker, and I mean all Big Push allocation for the next 2 years to improve road infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, you may recall that Parliament approved that all oil revenue and mineral royalties accrued to the budget were dedicated to the Big Push. As a result, an amount of 13.8 billion Ghana cedis was allocated in the 2025 budget for the Big Push program to be used for road infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Roads and Highways has spent the last 6 months of his time in office touring the whole country to assess firsthand the state of our roads. The Speaker, the Ministry of Roads and Highways has undertaken studies and prepared comprehensive engineering interventions and cost estimate for roads project across the program, across the country for the Big Push program. Right Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Finance has since issued commencement authorization for the following road infrastructure projects under the Big Push program. The Speaker, these are the following Big Push projects as approved by the Ministry of Finance. The Speaker, number 1, the construction of a new bridge on the Oti River at Dambai. Number 2, rehabilitation of Wahan Road. 3, upgrading of Tumu Hamile Road. 4, upgrading of Tumu Han Laura Road. 5, reconstruction of Navrongo Tumu Road. 6, rehabilitation of Techiman Nkonsia Wenchi Road. 7, rehabilitation of Wenchi Sola Road. 8, Mr. Speaker, construction of Sunyani Outer Ring Road. Mr. Speaker, the construction of Kumase Outer Ring Road, Eastern Quadrant. Mr. Speaker, the rehabilitation of Bintri Napanduri Road. Mr. Speaker, the rehabilitation of Dodo Pepeso in Kwanta Road. Rehabilitation of Atimpuku Esukuma Junction Road. Rehabilitation of Esukuma Junction to Enyinawase Road. Right Honorable Speaker, Enyinawase to Ho Titrenu Road. Mr. Speaker, we'll be upgrading the Akosombo Jakiti Kudikope Road. Mr. Speaker, we'll be upgrading Esukuma to Enumbuso to Parliament Road. Mr. Speaker, Adome Bridge to Akomufre Road. We'll be upgrading Ho to Petoi Road. The Speaker, rehabilitation of Petoi to Afiadanyamepa Road. Mr. Speaker, will be rehabilitating Penny to Aflao Road. We will be dualizing Winneba to Mankesim Road. We'll be dualizing Cape Coast to Takrade Road. We'll be rehabilitating Mankesim Edumako to Aguna Swedro Road. Mr. Speaker, we will be rehabilitating Tema to Aflao Road. Construction of Dodowa to Afenya Dowenya Road. Right Honorable Speaker, we will be upgrading the Oyibi to Apollonia Afenya Road. Right Honorable Speaker, we will be constructing the Enchi to Elubo Road. We will also be constructing the Dadieso to Akontombra Road. We will be upgrading the Adwefua to Ose-Kojo-Krom Road, and we will be upgrading the Enchi to Kojoru-Penchi Road. And finally, Mr. Speaker, we will be upgrading the Bediako Junction, Camp 15 to Sefi, Adobokrom Road. Mr. Speaker, as part of the Big Push program, we have also selected the following abandoned road project for which no dedicated funding was allocated for by the previous administration to be included into the Big Push program. Mr. Speaker, the project are as follows: upgrading of Kasua to Widiba Road, rehabilitation of Ofanko to Insawam Road, dual carriage. Right Honorable Speaker, dualization of Takrady to Aguna Junction Road. Mr. Speaker, the construction of Swami Interchange and local roads. Mr. Speaker, we will also be constructing the National Route 18 from Wa to Han Road. And we will be upgrading the Tumu to Chichiliga to Navrongo, including the construction of 36-meter span reinforced concrete over the Kenyibe River and 24-meter span reinforced concrete over the Bichirulu River. Right Honorable Speaker, we will be reconstructing the Navrongo to Sandema Road. Mr. Speaker, we will be rehabilitating the Tepa to Gosu Road, rehabilitating the Hohoi to Jasikan Road, and we will be rehabilitating Nkwanta to Oti Damanko Road. We will be reconstructing the Have to Hohoi Road, and we will dualize the Adenta Dodowa Road. Mr. Speaker, to conclude, we will reconstruct the Jenejene to Sampa Road. Right Honorable Speaker, in line with Section 33 of the Public Financial Management Act, and as part of this media fiscal review of the 2025 budget statement and economic policy, I am seeking approval for these multi-year commitments. Mr. Speaker, government has also initiated comprehensive feasibility studies for 4 projects which are currently at various stages of preparation, ensuring detailed assessment of their technical, economic, and environmental viability. Mr. Speaker, the projects are as follows. Project number 1, Accra-Kumasi Expressway on a completely new alignment. Mr. Speaker, Accra Outer Ring Road, Kumasi Outer Ring Road, and Adoso Echi Amanfo Bridge to connect the Afram Prince area. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to reorganization of the Ghana Road Fund. Right Honorable Speaker, this is not all. The government of President John Mahama has also taken a decision to remodel the Ghana Road Fund and refocus it towards road maintenance. As part of this media review, and on behalf of the government, the Minister for Roads and Highways will be laying before this House a new road maintenance trust fund bill. When approved, the road maintenance trust fund bill will replace the Ghana Road Fund. Mr. Speaker, the road maintenance trust fund will, among others, provide for a new governance architecture, provide a formula for a fairer allocation of resources, and introduce more transparency in the utilization of road fund levy and others. Mr. Speaker, government has identified 166 constituencies in dire need of road infrastructure. Right Honorable Speaker, the government has identified 166 constituencies in dire need of road infrastructure. In response, we have programmed to rehabilitate 10 kilometers of roads annually in each of these 166 constituencies across. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, President Mahama administration has identified 166 constituencies in dire need of road. In response, we have programmed to rehabilitate 10 kilometers of roads annually in each of these constituencies. Mr. Speaker, this translates to about 5,000 kilometers of road to be constructed in these 166 constituencies in dire need of road infrastructure over the next 3 years. Mr. Speaker, simple put, over the next 3 years, we'll be building 5,000 kilometers of road in these 166 constituencies. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to inform this House that we have paid all nursing and teacher training allowances from January to June 2025. Right, Honorable Speaker, from the end of this month, July 2025, all nursing and teacher trainees will receive their allowances promptly at the end of every single month. Mr. Speaker, I'll now move to the conclusion. Mr. Speaker, Right, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members,
through this media fiscal policy review,
we have other business. It's not only this one.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I conclude this media fiscal review with renewed hope and optimism. The last 6 months have revealed our enduring spirit, what we can collectively achieve, and our potential to rise from the brink. Upon assumption of office in January this year, we were handed an economy in deep distress, a country with dispirited citizens. Trust and faith in our leaders were at all-time low. The fundamentals were not only weak, but broken. Mr. Speaker, and the misery and suffering were palpable. Mr. Speaker, in just 6 months, in fact, under 200 days, under the decisive leadership of President John Mahama, we have begun to change the story. Mr. Speaker, President Mahama's economic management model is working. The turnaround is in sight. Mr. Speaker, the signs of economic progress are visible and measurable. Mr. Speaker, first quarter economic growth is at 5-year high. Our debt to GDP ratio is at a 5-year low. Mr. Speaker, inflation has declined to a 4-year low. Right, Honorable Speaker, our credit rating has improved from junk to B- with stable outlook, a 2-notch upgrade and a 4-year high. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have almost reversed all the cedi depreciations in the years 2022, 2023 and 2024, with no cedi depreciation in the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, the level of the appreciation of the Ghana cedi has never happened in the history of our nation. Prices of petrol and diesel at the pump have reduced significantly to the benefit of consumers, and the price of sugar, rice and cooking oil at a 4-year low. Mr. Speaker, the price of 25 kilogram bag of Royal Aroma rice, which used to be sold at 650 Ghana cedis in January is now being sold for 356 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, the price of a lonka of sugar, which used to be sold for 50 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 44 Ghana cedis. Right, Honorable Speaker, price of 25 liter of cooking oil, which used to be sold for 980 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 640 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, price of tonkonte, 1 sack. Price of tonkonte, 1 sack, which used to be sold for 1,200 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 950 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, a ton of iron rods, which used to be sold at 9,400 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold at 7,500 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, onions, 1 paint bucket, which used to be sold at 120 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 95 Ghana cedis. Right, Honorable Speaker, POP cement, which used to be sold for 115 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 90 Ghana cedis. The Speaker, maize, maize, 1 sack, which used to be sold for 1,600 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 1,450. And Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Agriculture has promised that it will go down even more. Mr. Speaker, the price of Yas sanitary pad, which was 25 Ghana cedis in January, is now going for 15 Ghana cedis. 15 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, palm fruit, 1 olonka, which used to be sold for 40 Ghana cedis, is now being sold for 25 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, this is the reset President Mahama promise. This is the reset President Mahama promise. It has been 6 months of hard work. We have lessened the burden on households and businesses. Mr. Speaker, contrary to the perception that we are not spending, we are indeed spending, and spending at the right places. We are making the right investment in the lives of the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, an amount of $700 million of Eurobond obligations has been paid. An amount of 10 billion to domestic bondholders has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 2.9 billion Ghana cedis to the District Assembly's Common Fund has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 2.7 billion Ghana cedis to the Social Security and National Insurance Trust has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 9.1 billion Ghana cedis to the energy sector for stable power supply has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 5 billion Ghana cedis of arrest has been paid. Right, Honorable Speaker, an amount of 4.6 billion to the Ghana Education Trust Fund has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 1 billion Ghana cedis to the free secondary education program has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 4.6 billion Ghana cedis to the National Health Insurance Scheme has been paid. Right, Honorable Speaker, an amount of 1.4 billion for the National Health Insurance claims has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 252 million for vaccines and essential medicine has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 72.8 million Ghana cedis as capitation grant has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 895 million to the school feeding program has been paid. Right, Honorable Speaker, an amount of 477 million to the LEAP beneficiaries has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 122.8 million for BEC registration has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 300 million to the no-fee stress policy has been paid. Right, Honorable Speaker, an amount of 191.7 million Ghana cedis as teacher training allowances has been paid. Mr. Speaker, again an amount of 462.6 million as nursing training allowances has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 25 million as assembly members allowance has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 20 21 million Ghana cedis for National Apprenticeship Program has been paid. Right, Honorable Speaker. An amount of 34.5 million to the Jumawa program has been paid. Mr. Speaker, an amount of 2 billion Ghana cedis as goods and service to run effective and efficient government ministries, departments and agencies has been paid. And Mr. Speaker, as we speak, an amount of 2 billion Ghana cedis to save the National Investment Bank has been paid. Right, Honorable Speaker. Non-interest expenditure of 84.2 billion Ghana cedis has been paid. So far, Mr. Speaker, from January to June, total cash of 114.5 billion has been paid from the consolidated fund. Mr. Speaker, we are spending at the right places. Right, Honorable Speaker, we are spending at the right places. We are touching lives and we are changing our country. Mr. Speaker, this is not all. We have also worked to improve the fiscal situation. We have restored fiscal discipline. We have implemented appropriate policies to reduce interest rates significantly, thereby reducing the cost of borrowing. So, Speaker, we have saved on domestic interest payment following the implementation of our prudent debt management policies. Mr. Speaker, there is still more work to be done. President Mahama is determined to deliver. Inshallah, His Excellency John Mahama will deliver. Right, Honorable Speaker, we are not out of the woods yet. It will be premature to make that pronouncement. So, Speaker, I repeat, we are not out of the woods yet. It will be premature to make that pronouncement. But the good news is that today, hope is in sight, and we are determined to navigate the country out of the terrible storm we inherited from President Akufo-Addo and Alhaji Bawumia. Mr. Speaker, we need the support of the people of Ghana to weather this storm. Mr. Speaker, to the farmer in Yendi and to the fisher folk in Sekendi and Shama, to the nurse in Sunyane and the teacher in Enumbusu and Ejumako, to the Ghanaian youth seeking decent work, to the elderly seeking better pension. We see you, we hear you, and we are working for you. John Mahama will work for you. The NDC will work for you. The gains we have made so far are the results of your sacrifice, your patience, our belief that change was not only necessary but crucial. Mr. Speaker, this media review is not just a technical report. It is the story of the Ghanaian people, a story of a nation that refused to give up, a story that echoes Nelson Mandela. It always seems impossible until it is done. Mr. Speaker, this is a story that echoes Nelson Mandela's quote, that it always seems impossible until it is done. Mr. Speaker, even as we look back at how far we have come, we are also looking ahead. This is the essence of John Mahama's leadership. He is focused and he will deliver. President Mahama is honoring his promise to the Ghanaian people. The second half of 2025 promises to be even better. We expect inflation to continue its downward trend and reach our 2025 target ahead of schedule. We will sustain the stability of the cedi through disciplined spending, targeted investment, and continued reserve accumulation. Growth will be further boosted by strategic initiatives, including the 24-hour economy program, the big push infrastructure program, and the agriculture through the Agriculture for Economic Transformation program. Mr. Speaker, you may recall that during my vetting, when asked what I would like to be remembered as a minister, Mr. Speaker, I stated that I would like to be remembered for stabilizing the exchange rate, ensuring low prices, and creating jobs. Right, Honorable Speaker, ahead of the presentation of the 2025 budget, my engagement with the traders at the Mokola market revealed that prices and exchange rate stability were the overriding concerns of the business community. Mr. Speaker, I wish to take this opportunity to thank our cherished traders at Mokola for their valuable insight. Mr. Speaker, the update on the cedi and the prices, as said earlier, clearly shows that we have taken deliberate and decisive action to ensure that the challenges with exchange rate and prices are tackled head-on. Mr. Speaker, let me assure all Ghanaians that the stability in the exchange rate and the lower prices we are experiencing will be sustained. Ghanaians, Mr. Speaker, the government has worked hard to bring down and stabilize the exchange rate with deliberate policies. It is now time for businesses to bring down prices to reflect the new economic reality. We understand businesses went through some sacrifices during the turbulent economic challenges, but so did the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, it is now time for prices to come down to reflect the new realities for the benefit of all Ghanaians and not only for the traders. Mr. Speaker, as we look forward, more jobs will be created, confidence will be deepened, and the Ghanaian economy will stand tall again, not just in the sub-region, but on the global stage. But to do this, Mr. Speaker, we must stay united as a people and eschew divisiveness. We must continue to have faith in our country, Ghana. Mr. Speaker, most importantly, we must have faith in our currency, the Ghana cedi. For 60 years through cycles of inflation, devaluation, redenomination, and recovery, the cedi has remained the symbol of our sovereignty. It has endured, it has evolved, and it remains the only legal tender of our republic. Let us protect it. Let us trade with our currency, the Ghana cedi. Let us talk about it with pride, not as a burden, but as a badge of economic independence. Mr. Speaker, I believe in the cedi. Fellow countrymen and women, I believe in the cedi. You also have to believe in the cedi. Mr. Speaker, to all of us who have the privilege to serve in the leadership of our nation, let us unite and do this for ourselves, for our children, and for our children's children. It is our collective responsibility to reset our country. Ghana needs us more than ever. Our people need us. Mr. Speaker, I cannot conclude this address without expressing deep gratitude to His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, whose unwavering dedication and vision continue to anchor this national reset. Mr. Speaker, on a personal level, I thank His Excellency the President, because without him, this work couldn't have been achieved. Mr. Speaker, he is indeed the anchor towards our economic reset. Right Honorable Speaker, and to you, Father, Mr. Speaker, Alban, Sumana, Hensford, Badman, our father, and members of Parliament and the Parliamentary Service, I'm extremely grateful. Mr. Speaker, indeed, Aban Papaba. Mr. Speaker, Aban Papaba. No wonder my brother Kwame and his team had to flee the chamber. I salute the Speaker. I thank you.
Asampanabo, the revive our economy. Asampanabo, the revive our economy. Honorable members, Kenya Deni, Uyebo, Ato, Kenya Deni, Uyebo, Ato, Kenya Deni, Uyebo. Forcing. Honorable members,
Honorable members, in line with the practice and convention of the House, I refer the media fiscal policy review of the budget statement and economic policy of the government of Ghana for the 2025 financial year to the budget committee to be assisted by the leadership of the Committee on Finance for deliberation and report to the House. When it comes to the House, we will hear from the chairman of the committee after it has gone through the report as to whether they second the motion that has been moved or not. If they do so, then it will be opened for debate. This is a motion, it's not a statement. And so members will have the opportunity to debate the media fiscal policy review of the budget statement and economic policy of the government of Ghana. So I intend to permit the minister
quite cumbersome. A lot has been captured.